the only hero who can save the world, resolutely chooses to join the demon army after crossing over, all because of one mistake by the goddess. The hero who should have crossed over to the beginner village accidentally arrives at the Demon King's headquarters. Even worse, the strongest fighter stands right before him, yet he's completely unaware, because the goddess told him his first stop would be the beginner village, where the monsters would all be weaklings. So the hero attacks the demon without hesitation. Die, you low-level tutorial monster! But the result is unsurprising. He's defeated. So the hero is thrown into prison. Unwilling to give up, he shouts that he wants to fight the Minotaur again. However, his loud commotion attracts the headquarters' second-in-command, Gobzo. Gobzo lightly places his greatsword on the ground, and the tremendous sound nearly scares the hero to death. That's actually a real sword? Okay, I'll be quiet. Gobzo turns and walks away. Human, if you make noise again, I'll stew you. After he leaves, Il sits on the ground completely confused, because the goddess once told him that Lie World would be an easy and pleasant adventure with no danger at all, and he'd even have the village chief's 18 daughters for company. Little does he know, all of this was the goddess lying to meet her performance quota by sending them to another world. Just as Il can't figure out what's going on, a voice suddenly comes from the adjacent cell. Are you the new hero? So Il quickly responds and asks about the other person's identity. I'm also a hero. We're now in the slave dungeon of the Demon King's castle. Il is stunned. But what comes next is even more shocking. The hero in the next cell grins wickedly, then shouts in a booming voice, "You guys who claim to be heroes, are you all still alive?" As his words fall, the entire dungeon instantly erupts. I'm an S-rank hero. I'm still alive. Me too. The hero smirks proudly. As you can see, there are over 100 heroes in this dungeon. The boss here is the Minotaur Lodrin, and the second in command is Gobzo. They're both notoriously vicious. And the hero's voice suddenly chokes up. Our current predicament is all thanks to that demon Rachel. Il is shocked. Rachel? Isn't that the goddess's name? Through the hero's explanation, he learns, a hero's first stop should normally be in the city, but due to Rachel's negligence, they were teleported to the wrong place. But since beginner heroes have no real abilities, they're completely unable to resist. This is a hellish start. The next day, he truly tastes what hell is like. Not only does he have to work for the Demon King for free, but even worse, after a day's work ends, Gobzo uses Il as a mount. Let's go back, slaves. You short, fat little goblin. One day I'll slaughter you. After returning to the slave dungeon, Il is completely exhausted, but after resting for a moment, he suddenly remembers. The goddess seemed to say that heroes have a status window privilege, so he quickly summons it. Looking it over, his stats seem higher than normal people, but considering he was previously the universe boxing champion, this doesn't seem abnormal. Endurance 31, but this statement immediately startles the hero next door. Amazing, you have 31 endurance at just level 1, but I'm still a slave. Il doesn't care, but the hero still thinks he's different. You'll definitely be able to escape this place and become a true hero. But faced with this encouragement, Il just wants to give up. When deep night arrives, he secretly gets up, planning to check the status window again to see if he's missed anything. After looking for a while, he actually discovers something. What are these hero points? He asked the hero earlier during the day, who said they didn't have this thing. Am I the only true hero? Just as Il lowers his head in thought, a sudden flash of light interrupts him. Long time no see, Mr. Hero. The visitor is none other than the goddess Rachel. Let this goddess tell you what hero points do. They're the key to creating the ultimate hero. But faced with this goddess kindly answering his questions, Il immediately becomes furious. I don't care about hero points or anything like that, but first I'm going to beat you up. A moment later, the goddess is beaten and begs for mercy. I'm sorry. I didn't know that just a little coffee spilled on the magic circle would cause your teleportation to go wrong. The higher gods discovered this, so they punished the goddess by making her Il's personal goddess until he defeats the Demon King. You're a triple S rank hero, so completing this task won't be difficult. But Il is completely uninterested. Rather than defeating the Demon King or whatever, he'd rather stay here and live an ordinary life, because in his previous life, as the universe boxing champion, he fought his entire life and still died single. I'm tired of a life of fighting and killing. The goddess is instantly stunned because as long as the mission isn't completed, she can never return to her original world. Just as she wants to continue persuading him, a sound suddenly comes from outside the door, startling Il into quickly grabbing the goddess and signaling her to be quiet. Don't worry about me, I can use invisibility magic. After hearing this, Il releases the goddess and looks up toward the door. The visitor is the second in command, Gobzo. Mr. Lodrin wants to see you. After saying this, he brings Il to the office. The reason is because Gobzo said he got a new mount, Il, and that Il works very hard, which sparked Lodrin's curiosity. That short fat little monster praised me like this? One day I'll slaughter you. Your hard work is good, so I want to appoint you as chief slave. Hearing this, the goddess is instantly stunned. This guy is actually competing with me for him. You'll refuse him, right? Quickly reject him firmly. A human hero must never bow down to the demon army. Of course, Il grins wickedly, then kneels on the ground and kowtows loudly. Thank you, sir. I won't disappoint your expectations. Very good, I'm starting to like you. Lodron nods with satisfaction. 3 days later, Il officially starts his new position. Run faster, my grandma runs faster than you. No leaving until you finish. He's satisfied with his current position. Being slave supervisor is awesome. This scene stuns the people below. Has this guy lost his mind? He used to be a human hero, can you believe it? Il's behavior is too much even for the goddess Rachel watching nearby. If this continues, we'll be in big trouble. But Il says, you have no idea about my plan. You, what are you doing on the ground? Are you trying to be a turtle? Get up and work now. After squeezing the slaves, he doesn't forget to salute toward Lodron's office. Thank you, sir, I'll work hard. This scene completely infuriates the goddess, and she starts constantly repeating what a hero should do beside him, until Il's ears are about to develop calluses. So he quickly opens the hero panel. Due to an idiot's mistake, you were teleported to the Demon King's dungeon. Current mission, gain the favor of Demon Army Officer Lodron. I'm just following the hero's mission, understand? But the goddess refuses to believe it no matter what. And even after returning to the slave dungeon, she still thinks he's lying to her. Il can't take it anymore and grabs the goddess. Who do you think is the idiot responsible for me being locked up here? After being warned, the goddess quiets down considerably and even stops nagging during work. Is that really his mission? Only higher-ups have the authority to change mission content, so why would they do this? While the goddess is thinking, Gobzo arrives on the scene. Mr. Lodron wants to see you. After receiving the order, Il happily comes to the office, and after 2 days of work, Il's efforts finally earn the commander's approval. Well done, young man. Seeing the other's blushing face, Il can't help but gasp, so he quickly takes advantage before Lodron does anything strange, and immediately salutes. Sir, can you let me train the slaves? I'm determined to build you an elite work team where one person can do the work of 3. That way, the Demon King's castle will be built within a week. At first, Lodron doesn't agree because human bodies are too weak to train and work simultaneously. But considering the person proposing this plan is him, Lodron happily agrees. Thank you, sir. Having gained approval, Il quickly runs back to the slave dungeon. But just as he arrives, the goddess Rachel immediately bursts into tears. My hero not only bowed down to the demon army, but he's even helping them oppress his own people. How can I live with this? The crying and commotion quickly irritates Il, and he can only helplessly reveal his plan. Listen, I have no intention of being an enemy to humans. I'm just planning to use the slaves to start a rebellion. Il has calculated that this castle has a full 3,000 slaves, while the demon soldiers number only 500, and not far from here is a human base, which will be a good place to go after escaping. Il speaks so logically that even the goddess who never believed in him shows admiration. It seems my Mr. Hero isn't just a muscle-headed fool. Because he completed the mission to gain Lodron's favor, Il receives 100 hero points. Let me see what treasures the hero shop has. Saying this, he impatiently opens the shop, but the things inside instantly shock him. F rank skill, hold breath. Skill description allows the hero to hold their breath. He thought the skill was absurd enough, but as he continues scrolling, he realizes he was too conservative. F rank item, dog feces. Item description, please take it. Seeing this, the goddess can't help but laugh. Don't be discouraged, this is just a level 1 shop. If you can upgrade it to level 2, you'll get better things like larger portions of feces. Stop right there. This is what you said would make me the ultimate hero? Il officially begins training the slaves. The next day, first let's recite our 3rd Legion motto. Begin, we are the great demon army. Let us defeat the humans, sing our praises. Lodron in the tower takes in all of this. Very good. It seems the young man hasn't disappointed me. But just as he's feeling proud, the second-in-command Gobzo rushes in frantically. This is bad. The human army is advancing this way. The 8th division fighting them has already fallen. It's only a matter of time before they reach us. Abandoning this nearly completed fortress makes Lodron very reluctant, but he can't withstand Gobzo's firm attitude. We must retreat immediately. After hearing this, Lodron looks downstairs. He knows well that the purpose of war has been to plunder wealth, and for Lodron, the most precious treasure here is none other than Il. You retreat first, I'll follow with Il later. After saying this, he kicks open the window, and this scene happens to be seen by Il. Looks like today's combat training can't proceed. That guy has been monitoring from behind. At this moment, Lodron suddenly lands behind Il and gently turns his body. Listen, Il, there's no time, we must retreat. Wait, where to? Il is confused. However, as they argue, the human army has already arrived on the scene. Charge with the commander's order. The war between humans and demons breaks out, but soon the commander spots Lodron standing to the side. The Red Nightmare is there. Make killing him the top priority. Il quickly realizes what's happening. The human army is attacking. Maybe this is a good opportunity. If I just stab Lodron in the back, I can return to human society as a hero. Just as Il is thinking about how to act, a human knight charges over at extreme speed. But Lodron simply reaches out and directly crushes the opponent's solid skull. However, something even more terrifying follows, as he grabs the knight and slams him heavily into the ground. The devastating strike immediately spreads across the field, defeating nearly all the humans on sight, and the first thing he does after finishing is gently turn his head to look at Il. Are you okay? Frightened, Il immediately salutes. Sir, I'm fine, I'll retreat right away. Although Lodron single-handedly defeated an entire human squad, Due to pressure from reinforcements, they still choose to retreat. My adventure is over. My second life is over. Il is stunned. He never expected this guy to be so strong that with just one strike, he shattered his dream of returning to human society. Going to Demon Army headquarters is a chance to learn about their military strength, right? Shut up, you liar. Il will never believe this so-called goddess's nonsense again, but their argument wakes the sleeping Lodron. Did you say something? I was asleep and didn't hear. Il quickly waves his hand in denial. No. I was saying how honored I am to be with you, sir. After hearing this, Lodron's face reddens slightly, and a strange thought forms in his mind. When we reach headquarters, I'll officially recommend you join the Demon Army. Il is instantly petrified. This means his future escape is basically hopeless. It's my honor. 5 hours later, the convoy arrives at Demon Army headquarters, and the first thing after getting off, Lodron prepares to bring Il to meet the commander. Although he knows this is somewhat improper, he firmly believes the commander will also like this young man, but you need to watch your words a bit, otherwise, you might die. Soon the two arrive outside the hall. Commander Hermes, it's me, Lodron. As his words fall, a gentle female voice immediately comes from inside. Come in. Having gained permission, Lodron enters the hall and generously takes responsibility for losing the fortress. But Hermes doesn't think so. She believes it's the supply officer's fault. If it weren't for the material shortage, the castle might have been completed already. I'll prepare a body bag for him. While speaking, Hermes' body instantly releases a terrifying aura that directly causes Il to be unable to breathe, and even his limbs instinctively start to feel fear. What is this oppressive feeling? It's stronger than anyone I've encountered before. After a while, Hermes withdraws her aura and notices Il beside them, so she asks Lodron who he is. This is the person I told you about before, Il. I brought him to join the Demon Army. After hearing this, Hermes instantly flashes in front of Il. She first shows strong interest in the talent Lodron recommended, but also raises a concern. He has a human body. He might very well get eaten here. Get eaten? Il is instantly shocked and looks at Lodron like he's a lifeline. I'll personally train you and make you strong enough. But Hermes thinks it's not worth it for a high-ranking officer like Lodron to train a human. So she puts her hand into her mouth and vigorously rummages around. Then her body starts twisting crazily. Finally, she spits out a strange creature from the top of her head. From today on, you're my pet guardian. His name is Popo. Isn't he cute? Cute? Cute my foot. Il just wants to stay far away from this thing. But under pressure from Hermes, he ultimately can only choose to compromise. It's my honor to care for Popo. Very good. Hermes says this and tosses the dog over, then tells Il some good news. Don't forget to feed him. When he's hungry, he gets angry, and when angry, he likes to eat his guardian. Just like that, Il successfully joins the Demon Army, and simultaneously receives a hero mission, the content of which is to win Popo's love. Il turns to look at the sleeping Popo. What the heck does this have to do with me becoming a hero? Just as he's thinking, the room door is suddenly pushed open, and a balding goblin walks in, his partner in caring for Popo. Il first shows goodwill toward the other, but at the same time he understands that if there's danger, the other will definitely use him as food first. You and I need to go prepare Popo's dinner now. The balding goblin states, the work in a commanding tone. If you understand, you can now. Before he finishes speaking, Popo has already woken up. Frightened, the balding goblin immediately hides behind Il. This newcomer is the food prepared for you. Saying this, he tries to restrain Il to make it easier for Popo to eat. One of us has to die anyway, so why shouldn't it be you? But the balding goblin ultimately underestimates Il's strength and is instantly thrown away. Snack time! A moment later, the sounds of Popo chewing and swallowing stop, but after eating, he's still not full, so the goddess Rachel becomes his target. Save me! Quickly save me! As they run, Popo's anger grows higher and higher, even treating Il as food. Quick, think of a way to calm down an angry dog. Got it. Il has a flash of inspiration. Absolutely no dog can be indifferent to these words. Go outside and play. Hearing this, Popo's eyes immediately become clear. Then he pounces into his arms. Just as I thought. Soon Il brings Popo outside, but they don't know where the kitchen is. But just as they're wandering around, a goblin unexpectedly appears before them. So Il quickly calls out to him, "Hey there, where's the kitchen?" "Kitchen? The kitchen is on the right." After saying this, the goblin runs off without looking back. This scene makes Il laugh out loud. Are all the Demon Army people this timid? Looks like I can rely on the dog's power from now on. However, just as he's feeling proud, he turns his head to find that Popo has already disappeared. Oh no, where did the dog go? So the two frantically search. But fortunately, hard work pays off, and soon they see Popo again. My precious, do you know how worried I was? Il looks down and seems to notice something wrong. Did you just bite someone to death? Just as Il is shocked, a loud shout comes from not far away. Captain Regis has been eaten. I'm guessing it was Popo. Rachel's smile instantly freezes. Who else could it be? Il quickly grabs Popo and runs, and the goblins quickly follow. Unfortunately, their short legs can't catch up with Il. However, by unfortunate coincidence, Il and the others actually run straight into a dead end. Turning around, a large group of goblins has already surrounded them. The human who killed the captain will take you down too. Another goblin licks his lips. I hope our captain hasn't been digested yet. I've always wanted to taste what the captain tastes like. Faced with this almost desperate situation, Il suddenly has a flash of inspiration. He thinks he might be able to intimidate them. How dare you be so rude? Saying this, Il suddenly shakes Popo in his arms. Do you know who he is? He's Popo. As his words fall, the goblins on site almost instinctively step back. They all know well how terrifying Hermes is. Commander Hermes' pet, but there's also one who's not afraid of death, suspecting this human is lying to them. So Il crouches down and strokes Popo's chin a few times. Beast mode activated! As soon as he releases his hand, Popo immediately pounces on that goblin. That's what you get for not believing. In just 15 seconds, Popo has already eaten him clean. Anyone else who doesn't believe? No! The remaining goblins bow in submission. But at the same time, Hermes' voice suddenly comes from behind Il. I wondered why it was so noisy here. Turns out it's a cute newcomer doing something interesting. Afterwards, he's called to the office. After learning the ins and outs of this matter, Hermes laughs out loud. So you're using my and Popo's identity to survive? Seeing this, Il immediately kneels to admit his mistake, but Hermes actually thinks there's nothing wrong with doing this. I suppose you're still a human after all, and quite clever at that. Hermes says this while lifting Il's chin. But you're a man, you should learn our demon army's tradition, which is to solve things with force. Hermes returns to her seat, then asks Il a question. Are you interested in becoming a senior officer of our demon army? Il is instantly stunned. With his meager skills, the only way to become an officer would be to sell himself out. I know it's difficult with your current strength. Hermes explains the rules to him. Demons can seize someone's rank through dueling. You can no longer use my and Popo's names. I know this is difficult, so I'll protect you for 1 month. After 1 month, you must defeat the opponent I choose for you. If you win, I'll continue protecting you for another month until you climb to the position of battalion commander. Il can't help but swallow. What if I lose? Hermes grins wickedly. If possible, you'd better die in battle. Il has no choice and can only agree with Hermes. She even set my opponent right there on the spot. Looks like I only have 30 days left to live. Il dejectedly comes outside the kitchen planning to find something for Popo to eat. But after arriving at the door, he discovers the door is covered in blood. Therefore, Il only dares to stick his head in, ready to escape at any time. Hello, sorry to disturb. As soon as the words fall, a red goblin turns his head. He's the head chef Kulkin. You must be the human the commander mentioned. Il quickly nods with a smile and explains his purpose, which is to get some food for Popo. Unexpectedly, the other doesn't even think before saying there isn't any. This instantly shocks Il. I have no obligation to help you. Commander Hermes' only order is that we can't touch you. If you want meat, then like us, go participate in the hunt yourself. Saying this, he points to a group of goblins behind him, who are dismembering goblins, while gleefully eating. Is this Captain Puck's meat? It tastes pretty good. Seeing this scene, Il is instantly stunned. These people aren't cooks, they're demons. But to avoid becoming Popo's food, he still chooses to go hunting outside with this group of goblins. Unexpectedly, just the first hunt, Il encounters deadly danger, but fortunately, there's a group of goblins in front who block this attack for him. Looking at the not quite dead creature in front of him, Il is stunned. Who's actually hunting whom here? At this moment, Rachel suddenly makes a suggestion, which is to escape while they can. Il agrees with this choice because he feels staying here will lead to trouble sooner or later. But just as he lifts his foot, Kulkan immediately calls out to him. I'll lead the charge. No need, Kulkan glances at him, because the hunt is already complete. This greatly surprises Il. He was only stunned for a dozen seconds, yet they've already killed this massive creature. But despite this, the goblins still paid a heavy price. 13 dead and 25 seriously injured to end this hunt. But Kulkan shows no sadness about such heavy casualties, and is instead very satisfied with this result. Let the team rest for a moment and prepare for the next hunt. After thinking for a while, Il suddenly abandons the idea of escaping. Really, my hero, are you really going to hunt monsters with them? No, Il has thought it through. As long as he participates in the kills here, he can level up, and as long as the final blow is his, he can get all the experience, so he doesn't need to try hard. Rachel is instantly stunned after hearing this. Is this guy really a genius? But you're taking shortcuts. She doesn't want her hero to be this kind of person, but Il has made up his mind. I must become strong enough within this 1 month. After saying this, he comes before Kulkin, and the other seems to see through his intention to escape at a glance. Human, I didn't expect you'd come back. I've been here all along. Il quickly plays dumb. Then he expresses his desire to participate in the hunt. You human? Kulkin doesn't immediately state his decision, but instead stares at him intently. This makes Il's heart race. The previous officers liked my humble attitude. Is this guy different? But it turns out he's overthinking. The next second, Kulkin laughs out loud. A human actually says such brave words, how cute. Il scratches his head. It's all because of your influence, chef. Dizzy from the flattery, Kulkin makes another decision, which is to let Il lead the team to hunt monsters. This instantly stuns Il. He just wanted to hang back and leech experience. No, how can a humble human like me stand before the noble demons? It will make them unhappy. Just as they're arguing, a panicked goblin suddenly runs over from not far away. He immediately explains the situation to Kulkan. A pack of wild wolves is attacking, in stark contrast to the goblin situation. Kulkan appears very calm. He grips the cleaver behind him. More good meat to eat. Little ones, let's go. Perfect, Il grins slyly. I just need to time it right and land the final blow. I'll help you too, Mr. Hero, Rachel says nearby and immediately uses magic. This greatly enhances Il's physical strength, though it only lasts 3 minutes. She thought this would earn praise, but instead is met with a sandbag-sized fist. You have this and didn't use it earlier. With the enhancement Il's confidence surges. They're just 5 black wolves. Then he suddenly leaps up and punches a dying black wolf on the ground. Level up, level up! Unexpectedly, after stealing 1 kill, he directly gains 4 whole levels. But just as Il is overjoyed, he suddenly sees a goblin nearby trying to finish off another, so he pushes the other away. Sorry, my foot slipped. Looking at the black wolves lying on the ground, Il greedily licks his lips. All the final blows are mine! Under his leadership, the 5 black wolves are quickly eliminated. Il intends to leave right away, but unexpectedly at this moment, Culkin calls him back and tells him it's time to enjoy the feast. This is the chef's privilege, to enjoy the freshest delicacies. With that, he hands Il a piece of meat. As someone who contributed, perhaps you should try some too. Looking at the bleeding raw meat before him, Il feels deeply resistant but doesn't dare refuse this kind gesture. So he forces himself to take a bite. The meat itself is fine, but eating it plain and raw doesn't taste good at all. As Il chews, inspiration suddenly strikes. If he can make more delicious food, perhaps he can use it to control them. So Il doesn't hesitate any longer, and immediately purchases a bottle of MSG from the hero shop. This triggers strong disapproval from the goddess Rachel, as she believes something as precious as hero points shouldn't be wasted on trivial items like seasoning. Even if they think it tastes good, it won't make any difference. You need to see the bigger picture. Il ignores her opinion, and instead picks up a piece of meat and starts grilling it, intending to silence Rachel with results. Just watch. With this method, even a shoe insole would taste incredible. The moment he sprinkles seasoning on the tender medium-rare grilled meat, an intensely rich aroma bursts forth. I am the culinary god of this world. Il is extremely satisfied with his creation. Once it's done, he immediately brings it to head chef Culkin, as freshly grilled meat is the most tempting. But Culkin only glances at it, and politely declines right away. Thanks, but I'm already full. Faced with this situation, Il doesn't give up. This is my ultimate creation. If you would honor me by trying it, I'd have no regrets even if I died right now. Under his repeated pleading, Culkin finally softens, takes the grilled meat and bites into it. But unexpectedly, this single bite instantly transports him back to his childhood. It's the taste of my mother. Culkin is extremely satisfied with the grilled meat, so to thank Il, he gives him a large bag of fresh meat in return. If you need anything, feel free to come find me again. Il carries the fresh meat back to his quarters. Popo, I'm back! But unexpectedly, as soon as the words leave his mouth, Popo lunges at him with jaws wide open. In desperation, Il quickly pulls out the fresh meat from the bag, finally managing to satisfy Popo's appetite. Buddy, eat as much as you want! With a source of food secured, Il no longer has to worry about becoming Popo's meal and completely becomes his master instead. After devouring 30 pounds of fresh meat, Popo's affection for Il greatly increases. Congratulations on completing the quest. You've successfully gained Popo's favor. Reward 200 hero points. Completing the quest greatly boosts Il's confidence. Excellent. This went exactly as I planned. He immediately opens his status panel, but Rachel, watching from the side, is instantly stunned. Are you planning to save those 22 free attribute points for your next life or something? That's because a certain idiot didn't tell me what these things are for. Il immediately retorts, successfully silencing Rachel, since as his personal goddess, she has the duty to educate Il about everything in this world. All right, Rachel says and immediately begins explaining. Attributes are divided into 4 categories: strength, agility, stamina, and magic power. Wait! Il immediately interrupts her because he sees a 5th category, charm. That one's different. Through Rachel's explanation, he learns that charm is a hidden attribute that can't be obtained through allocation, only improved through training. However, from what I can see, Il's charm toward male monsters is actually quite high. Rachel continues explaining, physical attributes are more important in the early stages, but it's completely different in the late game, when magic power becomes dominant. Il follows the advice, and allocates most of his points to physical attributes. Now you can go to the hero shop and purchase basic principles of magic control. It will teach you how to control magic power, and it only costs about 100 hero points. But Il searches through the hero shop again and again, yet can't find this so-called magic control guide anywhere. How is that possible? I remember it being one of the most common items in the hero shop. Rachel looks completely confused. Il lets out a deep sigh. He thought his personal goddess might finally be useful, but it seems he was overthinking it. No, I swear it's in there. 3 weeks quickly pass this way. During this time, Il finally reaches level 100. This took longer than I expected. I must be the hardest working hero in this world. The prolonged, intense work leaves him in agony. What are you talking about? Aren't you basically idle now? Idle? This word instantly enrages Il, and he slaps Rachel to the ground. Do you know how many times I almost died? But normally it takes half a year to reach level 100. I was just trying to be nice, no offense intended. Rachel looks wronged. You brought this on yourself. But just as the two are bickering, the door outside suddenly bursts open, and a goblin rushes in frantically. Beast Tamer Il, the commander demands to see you. Receiving the order, Il doesn't dare delay and quickly arrives at Hermes' office. His physical transformation amazes even Hermes. In less than a month, Il's physique has visibly grown so much stronger, and his magic power has even doubled. That's all from working hard to find food for Popo. Il quickly makes an excuse trying to brush it off, but this doesn't escape Hermes' sharp eyes. Is it because of the hero system? Il immediately breaks into a cold sweat. Does she know I'm a hero? Hermes stands up. She tells Il that from the very first time they met, she saw through everything. The reason she didn't say anything was because he's deeply favored by Lodrin. And now there's one more reason not to kill him, which is the duel in a few days. Yes. Hermes nods. Then suddenly a terrifying aura erupts from her body, and she transforms into her true form and lunges at Il. But when they're less than half a meter apart, she immediately stops. If you don't want to die, work hard and try to make me happy, okay? After saying this, Hermes sends Il back to his quarters. What exactly will excite the audience? Flashy performances or overwhelming domination? Il keeps pondering this question, because if he can't satisfy Hermes, he's dead. What do we do? What do we do? We're going to die. Rachel performs as consistently useless as ever, offering absolutely no help. Let me think. Il opens the hero shop, believing that knowing yourself and your enemy leads to victory. However, aside from the opponent's name, they know absolutely nothing else. Perfect, this is it. Il doesn't hesitate to purchase an item, a power gauge, which can help him measure the opponent's combat power. Il points the power gauge at Rachel, and it shows a combat power of 375. Without a reference point, he doesn't know what level this combat power represents. Then let me check yours, Rachel suggests. She then stands behind the power gauge and points it at Il, and the bizarre number instantly stuns her. This power gauge must be broken, right? How could you possibly be stronger than me? Because it shows that Il's combat power is a staggering 1,560. What's so surprising about that? Anyone can see you're the weakest one here, Il says as he takes back the power gauge. Rachel tears up because before being sent to this other world, her power was over 10,000. To confirm the power gauge is working properly, Il turns to look at Popo. Let me see what this little guy's power level is. Holy crap. The moment he sees the number, Il is stunned. 47,400? I can't believe we're both weaker than a dog. Are we sure this is even a purebred? After thinking for a moment, Il decides to take the power gauge outside to check other people's levels. The weakest are the young goblins, while most others are roughly at his level. But those with commander ranks all have combat power exceeding 10,000. You said my opponent is a platoon leader, right? Rachel nods. His name is Iskulkin. I heard he's a half-orc with a pig's head. If he's just a platoon leader, Il estimates his combat power should be around 3,000. If I level up now, I should still be able to handle him. But while the ideal is promising, reality strikes him hard. When Il sees the opponent's combat power, he's instantly shocked into a cold sweat. The guy has over 6,000 combat power. Fighting him would be suicide. Then the hero system pops up. You can't beat that pig, but not giving up is your strength, so I will give you chance. Increase your combat power to 3,000 within 1 week. Reward 300 hero points. This quest appears at just the right time. Il grins. Alright, no matter what, I'm doing this. Whether it's the Observer or Hermes, just wait for me. I will survive to the end. The next morning, Il returns to the kitchen where Kulkan is present. Looking at Il's power gauge, he can't help but ask, "That's a nice fashion accessory. Where'd you get it?" Il scratches his head. "I saw others had one, so I bought myself one too." Kulkan turns away. He doesn't understand young people's fashion sense these days, so he tells Il to get ready for hunting. "Yes, sir." While Kulkan's back is turned, Il quickly checks him with the power gauge. Over 35,000! This isn't the level of an ordinary commander. No, it's not just him. Il quickly scans everyone in the kitchen, and their combat power is all significantly higher than ordinary soldiers. Is this what comes from constantly fighting monsters? Looking at this situation, an idea suddenly forms in Il's mind. If he finds someone here with similar combat power to spar with, wouldn't that let him know his actual level? "Commander Kulkan, please allow me to spar with one of the kitchen staff. I think this kind of training will be helpful for my future." But Kulkan feels that Il is strong enough and doesn't need to rush his training. Il says, "What a shame. I brought some meat to grill as thanks today, but I guess we'll have to eat it another time." Kulkan grabs Il. "Let's start right now. Who do you want to fight?" Preparations for the match begin. Il chooses a beastman named Gorbakum as his opponent. He is the dumbest among the kitchen soldiers, but his combat power is twice that of Il. This beastman is much weaker than Kulkan. If I can't even beat him, I'll have no chance against Kulkan. The kitchen soldiers discuss seriously after hearing that Il and Gorbakum are going to spar. Spar? You mean kill each other? Does that mean Il will die? If Il dies, who's going to grill the meat? Let's kill Gorbakum first. That's a great idea. Kulkan mediates, "Shut up. Sparring isn't killing, it's just testing each other's strength." The kitchen soldiers murmur under Kulkan's explanation. Is it arm wrestling? Maybe tug of war? Kulkan says, "Listen up, Gorbakum. You absolutely cannot kill Il. You can fight, but hold back, understand?" Got it, Gorbachum answers with a stupid expression, looking completely unreliable. But don't hold back too much either. Just hurt him enough so he really feels it, understand? After this is over, I'll give you more meat, so do your best. Upon hearing the word meat, Gorbachum's eyes instantly light up. Leave it to me, head chef. Gorbachum suddenly speaks fluently and steps forward. Il, let's begin our sparring match. Alright, please go easy on me. Gorbachum and Il stand facing each other, maintaining a certain distance. Kulkin serves as referee and raises his arm. Ready? Begin! As Kulkin's arm drops, the match begins. Gorbachum assumes his stance. I don't want to hurt him too much. Il is the one who grills meat, don't want to harm him. Il charges at Gorbachum at full speed from the start. Gorbachum raises his arm, but even a gentle strike is enough to crush his face. However, unexpectedly, Gorbachum's fist doesn't hit Il. It only cuts through empty air. At the same time, he sees Il's leg strike and seems to hear the wind slicing through the air. Big shoe. The mud-covered sole grows larger and larger. I'm going to get hit. That is Gorbachum's last memory. Unsurprisingly, Gorbachum is defeated by Il with just one kick. 2 hours later, the 3rd Legion arrives at the forest behind headquarters. Although no monsters have appeared yet, Il is already in an unusually excited state. To be honest, he didn't expect to win, but he knocked down a beastman with twice his combat power in one strike. So now he knows that combat power doesn't determine everything, and he stands a fighting chance against Iskulkin. Of course, Iskulkin is much stronger than today's Gorbachum, possessing power that truly deserves to be called monstrous. A large number of young Taurus have appeared ahead. Finally, the news Il has been waiting for arrives. Really? So this area is Taurus territory? Kulkan is puzzled. This is a bit strange. This region normally doesn't have Taurus populations. This makes Kulkan somewhat hesitant. Il approaches him. Is there a problem? Is Taurus meat not tasty? No, Taurus meat is quite delicious, especially that chewy Taurus bone marrow. It's an absolute delicacy. But Taurus are social creatures. They might swarm out in groups, especially the mother Taurus, the Taurus queen, who has strong maternal instincts. If we provoke her children, it'll be troublesome. So can we call it a day now? Il says. No, Taurus meat is delicious. We need to capture them. Kulkin says, the Taurus queen rarely appears outside, so it should be fine. Then he raises his giant cleaver. Everyone charge! Today's snack is Taurus bone marrow. The kitchen soldiers sound the battle cry and begin charging. Be careful! Capture them alive! Their bodily fluids are the essence! As the kitchen soldiers begin fighting, Il starts his performance. He accidentally knocks a soldier away, then steals the final blow on monsters. The final blow is mine! I need to level up! Il kicks down one after another, his level continuously rising. You're really good at kill-stealing, hero. Of course, Il laughs happily. At this rate, he'll definitely surpass Iskulkin soon. But at this moment, the ground suddenly begins shaking with tremendous noise. What's going on? Il looks around in confusion. The kitchen soldiers are equally shocked. But soon, the culprit behind the tremors quietly reveals itself. It's the Taurus queen. Her massive body nearly darkens the sky itself. Looking at the pile of young Taurus corpses on the ground, the queen's body trembles with rage. She wants to make this group pay with their lives immediately. Il raises his head to look. He wants to know just how much combat power this queen, whom even Kulkin fears, possesses. But just as Il points the power gauge at her, the power gauge immediately sounds an alarm. Immeasurable! Immeasurable! Kulkin! What should we do now? Il turns his head, only to see Kulkin's fleeing back. Everyone, may fate bring us together again. Try to stay alive. Il is stunned. What the hell? That irresponsible bastard. In this tense moment, the Taurus queen's legs shoot toward everyone like bullets. A large group of goblins who don't react in time are instantly killed, but the queen still isn't satisfied, and she releases a roar that echoes through the heavens, nearly shattering Il's eardrums. Why is this thing making such a weird noise? But before he can figure it out, Rachel's voice suddenly sounds in his ear. Hero, look behind you! Alerted, Il turns his head and sees a shocking sight. Countless young Taras are swarming toward him. Run! Il has no choice but to flee with the main group. Those who run too slowly are instantly killed by the queen. Save me! Anguished screams spread through the crowd, but Il can't worry about that. He knows if he stops, he's as good as dead. He doesn't want to die. After running for 10 minutes, Il quickly reaches a cave. Should be safe hiding in here, right? Rachel nods. Safe. I checked. There are no monsters inside, although Il doesn't trust her words. Inside should at least be safer than out in the open. So after thinking for a moment, he enters anyway. This cave is deep and spacious, as if naturally formed. Doesn't that mean the Taurus queen can squeeze in here too? Rachel's words instantly freeze Il. He quickly scans the surroundings and discovers a puddle of green slime on the rocks. This can't be left by Taurus, can it? But Kulkin said there are no Taurus around here. So they continue deeper inside, only to discover an even more terrifying sight. The depths of the cave are covered with countless Taurus eggs. Is this the Taurus queen's nest? Il looks at everything before him in disbelief. We can't stay here. However, while he's in a daze, A Taurus's spike rapidly strikes at him. Il dodges to the side. Why is there an adult Taurus here too? With no time to think, he randomly picks a direction and starts running. Are you sure this direction is the exit? Il doesn't answer Rachel, just keeps running. But soon he's tripped by an unknown object. In desperation, Il randomly grabs an egg from the ground as a weapon. He throws it at the Taurus with all his might, and unsurprisingly, it catches it. But the Taurus holds the egg very carefully, as if afraid to break it. What's going on? Il looks at the Taurus, which has stopped attacking. Is it trying to protect that egg? Rachel is silent for a few seconds. I think it likes the thing you threw. There's slime all over it. Il turns to look at the eggs on the ground, and an idea suddenly forms in his mind. Could these be Taurus eggs? Il grins, then picks up another egg. This action instantly makes the Taurus tense up. He then assumes a throwing stance, deliberately throwing it away from the creature, but the doting adult Taurus still catches it. What terrifying speed! What should we do next? Il smirks. Isn't it obvious? I've got over 100 eggs here. Over 10 minutes later, the adult Taurus is exhausted and panting. But despite this, most of the eggs couldn't be saved. Come on, give me the next egg. Il extends his hand to Rachel. That was the last one. Upon hearing this news, Il is instantly stunned. This is bad. The enraged adult Taurus no longer holds back and immediately charges at extreme speed. Buff me! Quick, buff me! Rachel complies, and Il's arm glows with blue light. That thing has become weak from catching eggs, so I can win. Il raises his fist and strikes with all his might. The moment they connect, the Taurus's shell instantly shatters in half, revealing pure white bone. I won! Il looks at himself in disbelief. Hero, are you okay? The moment the buff disappears, Il feels like his body is about to collapse. It really hurts. Wait, I can cast a healing spell, Rachel says as her hands emit dazzling light, and Il's twisted wounds slowly begin to heal. After his wounds are healed, he immediately allocates all the attribute points from leveling up. But the next second, a familiar voice comes from deep within the cave. Il looks up in surprise, and it's Culkin. You're still alive too? Of course! Il feels speechless thinking about how he fled. How did you end up here? I found this cave while escaping. I think we're both very lucky. Culkin laughs happily. However, at this moment, Il tells him this is the Taurus nest. Those are all Taurus eggs. This place is their hatchery. Culkin stares at the eggs with burning eyes without responding. These soft eggs are top-tier ingredients. Most people die without ever tasting them. We need to run now. Il can't help but curse. Kulkan takes an egg and puts it in his mouth. The Taurus queen chasing me has probably already come in. To defeat her, we'd need at least a command regiment's worth of forces. So come enjoy this last supper. While the two are arguing, footsteps suddenly sound from outside, and it's the kitchen soldiers. Is this really my last meal? Il refuses to accept it, because he doesn't even have a wife in this other world yet. My life can't end like this. Meanwhile, in Commander Hermes' office, she summons Lodrin. No need for such formal procedures. How's the task I gave you going? As you ordered, I successfully captured the next Saint Tess. I knew it. I knew you could do it. In just about 3 weeks, Lodrin successfully captured the Holy Empire's elected Saint Tess. Well done. Hermes pats Lodrin's head. But at this moment, the room's door is suddenly pushed open. Commander, I have an urgent report. The kitchen staff reported an accident while gathering ingredients. Doesn't that happen every day? What's so surprising about it? Hermes purses her lips. But the scale of casualties this time is quite large. They encountered the Taurus queen. Most of the kitchen staff, including head chef Kulkan, are either dead or missing. Hermes strokes her chin thoughtfully. What about Il? He's also missing. Listening to the conversation, Lodrin freezes, shocked. Il is missing too. Meanwhile, inside the cave, Kulkan and the kitchen staff are all absorbed in the world of eating eggs. Il sighs deeply, then smashes a book hard at Kulkan. The intense pain immediately snaps him awake. What are you doing? You seem to be under some mysterious curse, so I use this method to wake you up. Il makes up an excuse on the spot, but actually he just doesn't want to see Kulkan so dejected. As for the book in his hand, it's the Beast Encyclopedia that Il exchanged for 50 hero points in the shop. It contains information on nearly all demon beasts, including Taurus. It reads, they are spider-type demon beasts, social creatures with highly developed leg muscles. To defeat Taurus, you must target their relatively weak points, especially the torso and head. Taurus bodily fluids are highly flammable. Their eggs contain a bomb-like flammable liquid. Caves built with Taurus saliva also have weak resistance to flames, so be careful not to use fire magic inside. After reviewing the Taurus's weaknesses, Il closes the book. Kulkan, can you use fire magic? Kulkan turns his head. A little bit of the basics, like shooting fireballs. He sighs. Give it up. Taurus shells can't be burned through by my level of flames. Il rolls his eyes at him because his plan isn't to burn the Taurus at all. Everyone listen up. I have an escape plan. A goblin chef sighs. Futile struggle. Better to just stay here and keep eating eggs. Facing this situation, Il doesn't give up and continues encouraging them. If we successfully escape, not only will there be Taurus eggs to eat, but I'll also provide unlimited deluxe grilled meat meals. Thinking of the delicious grilled meat finally rekindles everyone's interest. Even Kulkan immediately calls out to Il, drooling, "What's our plan?" A few seconds later, he announces his plan. What we need to do is just keep running toward the exit. No matter what happens, we're not allowed to stop. Move out. As soon as the words leave his mouth, Il takes the lead and runs ahead, with everyone following close behind. But unfortunately, they only run a short distance before encountering a large group of adult Taurus. Kulkan, get ready! Il holds 2 eggs in his hands, then throws them forcefully at the wall beside them. Kulkan simultaneously launches fire magic. The moment the Taurus egg fluid contacts the flames, a violent explosion occurs. The shockwave nearly destroys the entire cave. To protect the remaining eggs, the adult Taurus have no choice but to abandon pursuing Il and put out the fire first. While they're distracted, run quickly. Although everyone keeps running, the complex terrain makes it difficult to find the exit. Only 1 egg left. We must find the exit before it's used up, Il shouts. Rachel suddenly spots light in the distance. Over there! There's light! It's the exit! Dodging the relentless attacks of the adult Taurus, Il runs in that direction. Soon they get closer and closer to the light. We're almost out! But just as they're about to reach the exit, Il stops in shock, because what appears before is none other than the massive Taurus Queen. She single-handedly blocks the entire cave exit. We're finished! The Taurus Queen has returned. Although her expression is extremely enraged, the Taurus Queen doesn't actively attack them. He guesses this might be related to the egg in his hand, as Taurus are creatures with extremely strong maternal instincts. Without any hesitation, Il tears off a large piece of fabric from his sleeve and has Kulkan ignite it. Then he raises both items high. If this egg explodes, we'll all die here. But at the same time, the cave will collapse, and all your offspring will be buried with us. Il shouts, if you don't want this, then move aside and let us out. The Taurus Queen flies into a rage upon hearing this. She wants to kill Il immediately, but her instinct to protect her offspring stops her. Not only does she refuse to back down, but she lets out an ear-piercing shriek that echoes through the sky. With no other choice, Il ignites the Taurus egg. Then he hurls it violently into the cave. The Taurus egg explodes violently the moment it hits the wall. The entire cave trembles non-stop. Don't tell me it's going to collapse. Watching the massive rocks continuously falling from above, Il immediately realizes the cave is about to collapse. Everyone, run outside. With that, Il quickly dashes toward the cave exit. But shortly after running out, he suddenly stops in his tracks because at this moment, he actually hears the sound of himself leveling up. Rachel looks confused and tries to pull him outside, but she can't budge him at all as the cave continues collapsing. Level up notifications keep ringing out one after another. Il is completely stunned. Looks like all the Taurus crushed to death here are giving me their experience points. Could it be because I collapsed the cave? Not daring to linger any longer, Il rushes outside. But escaping past the Taurus Queen's blockade is no small challenge, though he has no choice. Fortunately, at this moment, Kulkan pulls out a precious Taurus egg from his collection. Then he looks at it reluctantly. I'll use this egg to buy us a way out. But as soon as he finishes speaking, the Taurus Queen's attack comes rushing in. Without any hesitation, Il slides right under the Queen and slips away. But just as he's about to escape, the Taurus Queen spits out spider silk from her mouth, wrapping around Il's arm. This is bad. I'm going to die. However, at this moment, a deep crimson figure blocks his path. It's Lodrin. Are you alright? Il looks shocked. He doesn't understand why Lodrin is here. I knew you were still alive, Lodrin smirks. From now on, I'm taking over here. As he speaks, a terrifying power erupts from his body, directly shattering the Taurus Queen. This scene leaves Il stunned in an instant. Holy crap, he's insanely powerful. The final result of this hunt was that 99 chefs went missing or died, including head chef Kulkan. After the battle ends, Il returns to Popo's room. Thank goodness for that bullhead, or we'd be dead for sure. Rachel lets out a relieved sigh after narrowly escaping death. But soon, Il delivers a reality check. Enjoy the moment while it lasts. We're about to be done for. My duel with Kulkan is starting soon. Rachel disagrees. Haven't you already grown a lot? You gained a full 75 levels from this cave collapse. Now Il has reached level 200, but he still only has 3,500 battle power, while his opponent has a full 6,000. But Il has thought about it. Victory in battle isn't just about battle power. His sparring match with Gorbakum was a perfect example. Rachel nods in agreement. Exactly. Fighting isn't just about raw strength, it's also about magic. If you want to beat an opponent of that level, you must learn how to use magic. But unfortunately, Il doesn't know how at all. Easy for you to say. However, Rachel says, changing her tone, you seem to have some experience using magic back at the Taurus hatchery. Her words leave Il puzzled. Did I use magic? Could it be back then? Just as Il is lost in thought, Lodrin pushes the door open, startling Il quite a bit. Sir, what brings you to our humble quarters? Lodrin explains his purpose. He wants to take Il to see Commander Hermes. Under Lodrin's guidance, the two quickly arrive at Hermes' office. What brings you here, Lodrin? You don't usually come see me on your own. Without any unnecessary chatter, Lodrin gets straight to the point. Commander, let me personally train Il. Kulkan is a platoon leader, but I've recently discovered his strength actually makes him more suitable to be deputy battalion commander. Therefore, Lodrin feels this battle is extremely unfair to Il. Let me train Il. I can bring out his maximum potential. Il is completely stunned. Why would he do this? Then he silently prays in his heart that Hermes won't agree. But unexpectedly, Hermes agrees without even thinking. Thank you, sir. If you have nothing else, then leave. I still have matters to attend to. With no choice, Il has no opportunity to object. Thank you very much, my great commander. We'll take our leave. After they leave, Hermes smirks because she discovered that in these short few days, Il's strength has actually doubled. It's quite interesting that a human can grow so fast, but this also troubles me a bit. If Lodron helps him, then Kulkan might actually lose. I absolutely cannot let this happen. Hermes already has a perfect plan in mind. On the other side, Lodron and Il quickly arrive at the training grounds. This is my private training ground. Il is stunned. Hermes actually gave him his own personal training ground. She must value this guy highly. Lodron stops in his tracks and turns to stare intently at Il. He discovers that the other person actually possesses enormous magical power, but still doesn't know how to use it. Being stared at by Lodron makes Il uneasy. He has no idea what the other wants. It's best to teach him the basics first, but the duel starts in just 4 days. We don't have much time. Lodron suddenly turns around and clenches his fist. He decides to push Il to his limits to unlock his potential. Pain is part of growth. Il has no time to react and is directly hit by Lodron's heavy punch. What is this guy doing? Has he lost his mind? Didn't he say he'd train me? Why is he suddenly attacking me? Without much hesitation, Lodron clenches his fist again and closes in. Focus everything on blocking, otherwise you'll die for sure. Warned, Il raises his arms to block, but the opponent's tremendous force still sends him flying several meters away. Strange. His body strength isn't high, but his reaction speed and perception are quite good. His mental strength is exceptional. Lodron speculates that when they first met, his failure to dodge Il's kick wasn't an accident. This guy has extremely rich combat experience. Lodron rushes rapidly toward Il. That bet you made with Commander Hermes, if you don't have mana, there's no way you can defeat Kulkan. Rather than embarrass yourself in front of everyone, better to die here. Lodron's powerful strike sends Il flying. He's not joking. One more hit like that and I'll really die. Lodron clenches his fist, preparing to launch another heavy punch. He believes Il can manage to use mana. Damn it, here goes. I can't die. I haven't married a wife in this other world yet. Il also clenches his fist and charges at Lodron. Suddenly, a bright blue mana begins swirling around his hand. Their attacks hit each other simultaneously. The collision of mana against mana creates a massive shockwave on the ground. After this strike, Il is completely exhausted and collapses to the ground. Lodron walks over. Did you notice? You just used mana. Even in this condition, Il doesn't forget to give a thumbs up and flatter him. That's because you taught me well, sir. Lodron grabs his hand. Good. Keep this up and you'll definitely have a chance to win. Lodron then begins healing Il's wounds. But just as he injects his magic into the other's body, Il suddenly widens his eyes, because at this moment his body is experiencing intense pain. Damn it! Il spits blood while struggling. He can barely breathe normally now. This is bad! I forgot you're human! Lodron's eyes widen in fear. Dark magic is like deadly poison to humans. He immediately apologizes, repeatedly while picking up Il. In this situation, only the Saint Tess can save him. The powers in this world counter each other. Dark magic counters magic. Magic counters holy power, and holy power in turn counters dark magic. Magic belongs to humans. Dark magic belongs to demons. Holy power belongs to those who revere the divine. Among these, the most famous is the Holy Gatlin Empire, where they can even hear the voice of the gods. And within the empire, they select the most exceptional person to become the Saint Tess. At the Demon Army's 3rd Legion headquarters, a human woman is confined in a deep chamber. Her silver hair falls all the way to her waist, snow-white skin and silver eyes matching her hair. Her delicate features are stunning enough to take one's breath away just by looking. But for some reason, her eyes are like dead fish, completely devoid of any life. Her name is Abelson Mariette, the next Saint Tess of the Gatlin Holy Empire. After being kidnapped by Lodron not long ago, she has been imprisoned in this place ever since. She hasn't even prayed to God in many days. The condition for becoming a Saint Tess is being able to hear God's voice. Although she can hear God's voice, she hasn't sought God here. She knows that no matter what, it would all be futile. Just as Abelson is lost in thought, the door to the room suddenly opens. It's the Red Nightmare Lodron. His breathing is heavy, clearly having rushed here urgently. Abelson sees his anxious expression and feels confused, because the decisive and ruthless Red Nightmare Lodron usually shows no emotional fluctuations. What's happening? Please save this human! Lodron shouts urgently. Il has already fallen into unconsciousness. He feels like his head is about to split open. Il slowly recalls the final moment. He remembers being hit by Lodron and falling to the ground. Damn it, am I really dying while holding a man's hand? Il feels unwilling. No matter what, he should at least die holding a woman's hand. Even Rachel would do. As he thinks this, Il suddenly feels a warm power. He carefully opens his eyes and sees a goddess before him. She has silver hair and silver eyes. The goddess is expressionless, not speaking. I must be dead already and back at that place preparing to be reborn. Il is convinced of this idea. Goddess, I'll never forgive you, and send Rachel to hell. She's a demon wearing a goddess mask. Finally, if you plan to make me a hero again, you'll have to marry me first. The Saint Tess listens and shows a hint of sadness on her face. How pitiful. Did you die forever alone in both lifetimes? Before Il can savor the Saint Tess's sweet voice, Lodron suddenly bursts in. You're finally awake. He embraces Il with tears in his eyes, the tremendous pressure seemingly about to crush Il's body. At this rate, I'm going to die again. Lodron quickly releases Il. After being stunned for a few seconds, Il holds his breath and looks around. The goddess is still there. Could she not be a goddess but a real person? Oh no, what did I just say to her? Has he fully recovered? Lodron asks the Saint Tess urgently. Abelson shakes her head. That's not certain yet. As you noticed, the dark magic hasn't completely left his body. I don't know what the outcome will be. Lodron is stunned for a few seconds. Even your holy power can't eliminate it? This might be temporary. Over time, the dark magic may disappear naturally, so let's observe the situation. Abelson speaks calmly. Sorry, I'll find a way to make it up to you with training. Lodron tightly embraces Il. No sir, you don't need to treat a subordinate like me this way. Before Il finishes speaking, Lodron carries him out of the room. The Saint Tess left behind looks puzzled. That demon is actually training a human? Who is he exactly? Leaving the Saint Tess's room, Il declines training on the grounds of needing to feed Popo. Thanks for getting me out of that, Popo. I heard you already ate a soldier who came to feed you, so you shouldn't need to eat again today, right? Although Il doesn't have to worry about being killed by Lodron in training now, dark magic still remains in his body. This shouldn't be a major problem, right? It won't kill me. Il says this while looking at Rachel. He sees her sitting on the ground crying with tears in her eyes. Because she heard everything Il said to Abelson clearly from the side, she never expected her hero would want her to go to hell. Yes, this is all my fault. The dark magic in your body, and you almost dying, it's all because of me. Because I'm a goddess wearing a demon mask, I deserve to suffer eternally in hell. Il suddenly realizes that what he said might have been a bit too much. He walks over to comfort Rachel. All right, Rachel, Rach. Don't be mad anymore. I can't do without you, my buff dispenser. Shut up, I don't want to hear you talk. Time quickly moves to the next day. Il arrives at Lodron's private training ground as usual and gets beaten half to death. And the Saint Tess Abelson naturally becomes Il's dedicated healer. Thank you for healing me. Before tomorrow's duel, I want to ask you something. Il scratches his head sheepishly. Could you pray that I won't die tomorrow? Also, if possible, I'd like to invite you to watch tomorrow's duel. In the blink of an eye, the day of the duel arrives. Due to the intense training, Il's body aches all over, but his mood is calm. In other words, he has become stronger. But those present don't have high hopes for him because humans have a natural physical disadvantage compared to demons. Lodron, who do you think will win? Hermes asks from the audience seats. Il. He has extraordinary talent and has undergone rigorous training, Lodron says without hesitation. Then do you want to make a bet? If you win, I'll let you continue training him. Hermes doesn't think highly of Il. If you lose, I want you to kill him with your own hands. Understood. Lodron can only agree, and this agreement makes him nervous. He doesn't want Il to die. I can win. Il lowers his head because under Lodron's training, he has mastered a brand new skill, Lodron Combat Technique. It's a dynamic martial art composed of 10 different boxing styles, modified from the Kodan fighting style inherited by Lodron's clan. It pursues overwhelming power to subdue opponents. Although his proficiency is a bit low, Il's body strength has also improved considerably through training. I must win because a silver-haired Saint Tess is watching. Just as Il is lost in thought, his opponent, the beastman Kulkan, makes his entrance. The demonic aura on him has surged dramatically in a short time. Clearly, this aura is essentially the same as Hermes's. At this moment, Lodron sees the demonic aura on him and nervously stands up. You can't back out, understand? Hermes says with a smile. Soon this duel officially begins. Black, mist-like substances continuously overflow from Kulkan's body. With a roar, his voice filled with magic echoes across the land. At this moment, his battle power has reached a terrifying 10,573. What's going on? Such an increase in just a few days? Il is completely stunned. What he doesn't know is that this is actually Hermes' doing. I won't back down! Il clenches his fist. Then he quickly charges at Kulkan. But just as he reaches his opponent, Kulkan swings his massive iron club, smashing forward with terrifying momentum, creating a huge crack in the ground. Il twists his body to dodge this attack, then launches an attack on Kulkan from another direction. His fist slams heavily into his face, but this strike certainly isn't enough to be fatal, so Il launches another attack with his other hand. But what he doesn't expect is that despite taking such a fierce attack, Kulkan doesn't even take a single step back. He swings his iron club in a counterattack, nearly hitting Il's left arm. After dodging the attack, Il looks up at Kulkan. Apart from a tiny bit of blood, he doesn't seem to have sustained any serious damage. Kulkan charges forward at extreme speed, but these movements are predictable in Il's eyes. After receiving Lodron's training, he can easily see through his opponent's moves. Don't panic. Il recalls what he learned. The art of combat is the fusion of fighting techniques and mana. This can greatly increase the lethality of your attacks. Combat isn't just about raw power, more importantly, it's about having the fighting skills to kill your opponent. Lodron said that Il can't use the fighting techniques he learned before because he has no intent to kill his opponent, so such attacks are meaningless. I understand now. Strike to kill. Il clenches his fist, then a bright blue light glows on his hand. No matter who stands before me, I will take them down. Il's Lodron combat technique attack infused with mana strikes precisely at Kulkin's abdomen. The intense shockwave pierces straight through him, even making the earth tremble. After the smoke clears, the attacked Kulkin slowly becomes visible. A huge hole has been blasted through his heart by Il. Today's winner is the weak human Il. After hearing the announcer declare the result of this battle, Il collapses weakly to the ground. That strike used up almost all his mana. I did it. I pierced straight through his heart. But just when everyone thinks the match is decided, spider web-like substances begin secreting from Kulkan's wound, gradually filling the huge hole in his body. This bizarre and insane ability doesn't look like something a creature like Kulkan could possess. He's not dead even with his heart destroyed? How is that possible? It must be Hermes' doing. Il gradually realizes this. Lodron worries he planted the dark magic immortality curse on Kulkan, while Hermes says smugly, he mastered this martial art in such a short time, but I already anticipated this. Within just a few seconds, Kulkan is already back on his feet. What the heck, a curse? Rachel looks confused. But if it's a curse, this situation won't last too long. Kulkan charges forward while drooling. Il observes his opponent's movements and finds they're still the same as before. These attacks are too easy to dodge, but just as he's about to sidestep, his legs suddenly fail him at this critical moment. Unable to dodge in time, Il is slammed into the wall like a bullet by Kulkan. Il is forced to grab his arm and twist it with all his might. But even after hearing the sound of bones breaking, Kulkan acts as if he feels no pain. He throws Il violently away. The force is so great that Il briefly loses consciousness. Damn it, I can feel large areas of broken bones throughout my body. Stand up, you can do it. From the audience seats, Abelson rarely speaks to Il. That's right, it's not over yet. Encouraged, Il forces his body up and stands shakily. I absolutely cannot embarrass myself in front of the girl I invited. I haven't even been on a date with her yet. As Il speaks, an enormous mana erupts from his body. If my bones are broken, I'll cover them with mana like armor. With the mana's enhancement, Il moves again. He leaps high into the air, then concentrates all his mana into both hands. Die! Il's attack slams heavily onto Kulkan's head, nearly crushing his skull. But even so, Kulkan still doesn't die. An eerie black mist erupts from his body once again. Il looks at Kulkan with infinitely calm eyes. His mind contains only victory and the date. Il raises his hand. This is my job. Come on, musclehead pig. As Il speaks, he slams another punch onto Kulkan's head. Did you teach him that kind of mana control? Hermes asks Lodron doubtfully, but receives a negative answer. This makes her instantly nervous. Then we need to be careful. He's a monster! This word coming from her mouth carries weight equivalent to a legion commander. Even for her, aside from the Demon King, no one can challenge her position. This duel is quickly declared over. When Il regains consciousness, he's already back in Popo's quarters. How did the duel end? Il didn't see the final result. He only remembers he was beating down Kulkan. You won, and then the Saint Tess healed you. Getting Rachel's answer, Il quickly opens his hero system. He discovers that after that battle, he directly gained 12 levels, and his attributes have also grown considerably. He even acquired a brand new skill called mana control. But even the well-traveled goddess Rachel has never heard of this skill. It's normal you haven't seen it. Il can't help but complain. It's because this skill is rare, not because I'm ignorant. While the two are bickering, Il discovers what appears to be a small note beside him. On the other side, the Saintess who healed Il returns to her room. She looks up outside. That guy is too strange. Mastering the use of mana within 3 days and even learning proficient fighting techniques would take other knights at least a month to accomplish. He has unfathomable potential. Abelson rubs her hands together. She prayed to God a few days ago. Perhaps this is heaven's response to me, or maybe it's Il's own talent. But that doesn't matter anymore. He won this duel anyway. Maybe he's the person I've been looking for. Abelson speaks as she comes to the door. Then she knocks. Saint Tess, what do you want? Abelson presses her lips together. I want to ask you a favor. I want to go for a walk. At this moment in Popo's room, Il opens the note. It's actually from the Saint Tess. She's asking me to walk with her in the back garden. Il trembles with excitement all over. Without further hesitation, he quickly arrives at the agreed location. Should I ask for her contact information first, or should we exchange letters? Rachel says, don't be stupid. She's playing with you. Let's go back. But as soon as she finishes speaking, Il nervously grabs her because he senses movement in the distance. Turning his head, he sees it's Abelson, and behind her are 2 minotaurs. This makes Il quite unhappy. He thought he was having a private date with the Saint Tess. They're my guards. I can't move around alone. After hearing Abelson's explanation, Il learns that the Saint Tess has been imprisoned by the demon army. Let's take a walk first. Under the gaze of the two minotaurs, Il is too nervous to speak. You're a hero, right? Abelson turns her head. Il is stunned for a moment but still nods. How did you know? In our world, only demons or heroes have black hair. Your performance in yesterday's duel was impressive, so I believe you're a hero. Il is embarrassed by such praise and laughs awkwardly. Can I also ask you something? What do you think of me as a person? Deep confusion appears on Abelson's face. This is a very rare emotional change for her. What is this guy talking about? Just as the atmosphere becomes extremely awkward, Laudron's voice comes from the distance. His appearance breaks the awkward atmosphere. So you're here, the Legion commander wants to see you. This truly is a bolt from the blue. The date Il worked so hard to arrange is hastily declared over just like that. He's brought by Laudron to Hermes' office. Well done. Hermes sits cross-legged on the desk looking at Il. I watched this duel very clearly. Your recent achievements are quite impressive. Hermes says, do you remember the proposal I made to you? Il nods. Yes, you said I should duel opponents you designate in exchange for your protection during that time. That's right. And then, Hermes continues asking, you said I should become a demon officer and work here. Hermes nods with satisfaction. Now I'm telling you that was just an excuse. I thought you wouldn't live long, so now my thinking has changed. She points at Laudron. You said he would become an excellent demon officer, so this time, I think we should try something different, not dueling. Hermes gets down from the desk and slowly approaches. You know, our unit has an independent cooking company. This time the cooking company suffered heavy casualties, so the executives can't have proper meals. So starting today, you'll become the commander of this unit. I'll give you the authority to recruit cooking soldiers as you see fit. Can you do it? Il knows he has no choice. Leave it to me. Congratulations on your promotion. You're a company commander now, Rachel teases. A human hero actually became an officer of demon soldiers. Are you happy now? Yes, this feeling is amazing. Il doesn't coddle her. The two bicker as they arrive at the Legion kitchen, but the moment Il pushes open the door, he hears greedy chewing sounds coming from inside. Looking down, there's actually a cooking soldier greedily eating something. He recognizes Il. Oh, it's that barbecue slave. Slave? Il immediately loses his cool upon hearing this contemptuous term. He moves his numb foot. Friend, you're wrong. Starting today, I'm the head chef supervisor. With that, Il viciously kicks him in the face. After venting his anger, Il gathers all the soldiers in the kitchen. People here generally have battle power around 2,000, with the strongest at 30,500. Looking at them, Il immediately has a big question in his mind. Why are there so few kitchen soldiers now? Shouldn't there be 300 to 500 people? Now there aren't even 30? But Il also can't disobey Hermes' orders or he'll die on the spot. Il feigns composure. Does anyone know who I am? A cute one raises his hand. You're all wrong, he's a tasty human. As soon as he finishes speaking, Il viciously kicks him into the wall. That's right, I'm a tasty human, you fool. Il pulls out the appointment letter. The commander appointed me as the head supervisor of the kitchen unit. From now on, you must treat me like royalty. And why there are so few people here now? A soldier raises his hand. They all went hunting and were killed by magical beasts. Hearing this, Il remains calm. The strongest chef Kol Khan was killed when facing the Taurus queen. So it's normal that these remaining misfits can't beat wild monsters. Who's the strongest among you now? It's Garumu. Everyone points without hesitation at the person Il beat up earlier. Because his battle power is outstanding, Il appoints him as deputy kitchen supervisor. Alright, dismissed if there's nothing else. Il sits alone in the corner. He thinks the kitchen needs at least 200 people. Then there's only one way to do it. The next day at dawn, Il leaves the quarters with Popo. He already has a good method for recruiting soldiers in mind, using Popo to intimidate opponents. Either join the kitchen department or get eaten by Popo. Let's start with that. Il kicks a soldier straight in the face. With a power level of only 1931, this one seems manageable. Hey little mole, wanna join our kitchen department? What mole? The soldier looks around and points at himself. Yes mole, I'm talking to you. Il delivers another brutal kick. The mole guy sits down looking aggrieved. Why? You're hitting me without even hearing my answer? Il says, you're the first recruit today. It means you'll have higher status than those who join later. You can abuse your power or find someone to take the blame for you. Take the blame? The mole guy looks confused. With his limited intelligence, he can't think that far ahead. Yes, go bring all your friends. For every 10 people who join, I'll give you one subordinate. Il's plan seems perfect. He might soon build up a division's worth of troops. But what he doesn't expect is that the mole creature is a soldier from the independent battalion. This news quickly reaches the ears of the battalion commander, the demon Doris. Commander, we have a problem. Our battalion is running out of soldiers. Why? Doris elegantly picks up a handkerchief. Did they desert? Have the soldiers left en masse? He doesn't believe he's treated his soldiers badly enough to make them flee. They didn't flee. They've all been recruited as cooks. I see. Doris breathes a sigh of relief. He leans back in his chair. Recruiting kitchen soldiers is normal. I'll generously let it slide. Tell them to be more careful next time. Doris has no interest in dealing with this matter. No, we need to take this seriously, the soldier shouts with a tearful voice. He's already taken 200 of our soldiers. Hearing this number, the calm Doris instantly breaks down. Meanwhile, Il continues recruiting kitchen soldiers. We now have over 200 cooks. Should we end the recruitment? The moment he mentions this, he senses something's wrong. Glancing sideways, Il discovers something terrifying. Didn't I tell them to bring one comrade? Why did this guy bring a pig? Something's wrong. Il uses the power gauge to check, then freezes in shock. We're done for, immeasurable. This guy's power level is over 50,000. Let's quietly wrap up and run. But Il barely takes 2 steps before Doris calls out to him, so he can only turn back and force a calm smile. Yes, sir, what brings you here? Doris reveals his identity as commander of the 3rd Legion's independent battalion, then begins interrogating Il. What brings me here? Don't you know? What are you thinking? He points at the soldiers Il just recruited. Why did you take half my battalion's soldiers? Il is stunned. He never expected these guys all came from the same battalion. Let me explain, sir. Damn, no wonder this went so smoothly. A few minutes later, Il is brought to the office by Doris. Do you do this intentionally? Il says, yes, I selected the most valiant-looking soldiers, but they all happen to be from your battalion. Hearing this, Doris beams internally. Commander Hermes likes this guy, so I'd better not make a big fuss about this. With this thought, he immediately puts on a smile. Since this is your selection method, we can only comply. Is this really okay? Il is overjoyed, but he knows things won't be that simple. Sure enough, the next second, Doris speaks. But I have one condition. Take one more soldier from our battalion and we're good. Il suspects Doris wants to dump some useless fool on him. What, are you unwilling? Seeing Il's delayed response, Doris's murderous intent begins to show. I'm just so happy. Il runs out of the office without looking back. Just introduce them to me later. Shortly after Il returns to his office, the door suddenly opens. A towering giant appears. His name is Azolu, a hybrid of ogre and half-orc. Il looks up and sees the opponent's power level is immeasurable. This guy looks stupid, but he's incredibly strong. I need to use him well. The next day, Il gathers all the kitchen soldiers again. Let me reintroduce myself. I am Popo's keeper and head chef. Next, Il announces his plan to reorganize the department. He prepares a roster and has them stand according to their positions on it. Il has discovered that while these beastmen have similar intelligence levels, their power levels vary drastically, so he categorizes them by power level, assigning the weaker ones to kitchen duty and taking the stronger ones hunting. A few minutes later, they form 2 lines as Il requested. On the right is the cooking squad, on the left is the combat squad. No objections, right? But the moment Il finishes speaking, a soldier raises his arm. I object! I want to hunt too! I want fresh meat! The speaker is an extremely short beastman. Il gives an awkward laugh, then crooks his finger. Come here. The skinny soldier, confused, slowly walks over. Then Il kicks him hard, sending him flying. You want to go? Pass my test first. Obviously, you didn't pass. After Il does this, the hero system sounds. With excellent leadership, you have commanded soldiers to reorganize and stabilize the troops. Hidden attribute charisma increased, command ability level raised. Il's eyes widen. This is a completely unexpected reward. Anyone else have objections? Il raises his fist. If not, combat squad, grab your weapons and move out. Time to hunt. Under Il's lead, the combat squad reaches the northern forest, but unexpectedly, there isn't a single beast here. Could it be because Popo or Azolu are too strong and easily scare away enemies? Rachel suggests. Il agrees, but these two are the combat squad's top forces. He can't leave them behind. Just then, Rachel claps her hands as if remembering something. She looks at Il with a sly smile. Then let's use them as bait. My god, this girl really is a devil. Il circles around and selects 5 numbered soldiers as bait, lottery numbers he bought back on Earth. With tears in his eyes, Il orders Azolu to throw out the soldiers whose numbers are called. Number 14, launch. Intercontinental ballistic missile, fire. Using the weak ones as bait should lure the prey over, right? Il says. He doesn't forget to have his men light torches insincerely. This way the bait soldiers can see the smoke and come back. Throwing them like that, you're sure they'll come back alive? Rachel's face is full of doubt. Of course. Il smirks wickedly. At least one of the 6 will come back, including Azolu. Everyone watching thinks Il has gone mad. We'll definitely die if we go. But just as they want to flee, they turn around to find Popo, who received the order, already waiting behind them. Despite looking troubled, Il is actually calm inside. Either obediently do as I say, or go play inside Popo's belly. Unsurprisingly, the poor soldiers all choose the first option. After all, possibly dying is better than certain death. Sure enough, after waiting a while, the bait soldiers bring back several beasts. Wait for the soldiers to handle them. I only need the final blow. Before Il finishes speaking, Azolu roars and charges forward, then swings his weapon and launches a fierce attack. What kind of power is this? Il is shocked. With just one strike, Azolu completely shatters the massive beast, and Popo does the same, instantly killing them too. How am I supposed to work with this? Not only did I miss the final blow, even the meat on the beast is completely shattered. When we come tomorrow, I'm absolutely not bringing these 2. I'm leaving. See you all tomorrow. Shortly after returning to his quarters, Il heads to the kitchen. After building up his emotions, he angrily kicks the door open. Are you slacking off again? Is the food ready? The deputy head chef quickly runs over. We're working on it, but today's meat is a bit. Il's expression darkens. A craftsman doesn't complain about his tools. Yes, sir, I'll get right on it. Though he says this, Il knows well that with these cooks' skill level, even passing dogs would cover their noses. But it's fine. Il has already thought of a solution. Regular soldiers eat what the cooks make. Only battalion commanders and above qualify to eat his cooking. This not only perfectly solves the production shortage, but also gains favor with high-ranking officers. After finishing the roast, Il immediately seeks out Abelson. Because she helped him greatly in that duel, he wants to express his gratitude with tender roast. "Thank you. I only need a little." Abelson spears a piece of roast, and rich, meaty aromas waft up. The smell is much better than she expected. After putting it in her mouth and chewing, the taste completely astonishes Abelson. This is the most delicious food she's eaten in the Demon Lord's Black Castle. So good. Soon, Abelson finishes the roast completely. Afterward, Il picks up the plate to leave, but just then, Abelson speaks. She asks Il if he has anything he wants to do after leaving the Demon Lord's castle. "Get married and have children," Il blurts out. But Abelson freezes upon hearing this. She originally thought a hero would have loftier ambitions. "I understand you may go. It doesn't have to be the village chief's daughter." Il shyly hooks his finger. Then he asks Abelson the same question. "Me? I don't want to do anything." After thinking for a long time, she calmly says this. Meanwhile, in the Gatlin Empire, a subordinate comes to report in panic. They've discovered Saint Tess Abelson's whereabouts. She's imprisoned in the Black Castle. Fearing the voracious eater Hermes, the Empire dares not rashly send troops. In human history, the Black Castle has been conquered only 3 times, and each time was because Hermes was absent. After pondering for a moment, the Pope comes up with a perfect solution. "Summon our heroes. Send them as a secret rescue team." The next day, Il assembles soldiers early for hunting. But Abelson's words, "I don't want to do anything," linger in his mind. Why would she think that way? With this question, Il begins today's hunt. After going deeper into the forest, he raises his hand to signal the team to stop, then orders all squad leaders to step forward. 10 squad leaders, 10 people total. They nervously glance at Il's expression. What's he planning today? Fortunately, Azolu isn't here, so he probably won't do that crazy thing of throwing soldiers into the forest. But today, Il is surprisingly generous, actually pulling out several large pieces of seasoned roast from his backpack. "Everyone take a bite. What are you standing there for? I'm telling you to eat. If you don't, you'll go feed Popo. We'll eat." The squad leaders tearfully stuff the meat in their mouths. These burly men devour fist-sized chunks of meat in less than a minute. "Head chef, what is this? It's so delicious." The squad leader's eyes begin to moisten, tears dripping down. "We really chose right joining the kitchen troops. Head chef is such a great person. We'll definitely work hard from now on. Give us another piece!" The squad leaders shout excitedly, faces flushed. But Il raises his index finger and waves it gently. The gourmet experience is over. Now the game begins. Go capture beasts alive. The squad that captures the most will get the chance to dine with me today. Still standing there? Run. As Il's words fall, a life or death game for meat begins. To taste that aromatic roast again, the squad leaders all charge ahead. All creatures are dominated by their desires. During today's hunt, Il directly raises his level to 224. Head chef, which squad won today? Il turns around and announces the Wild Wolf squad as this hunt's champions. They will get the chance to eat roast. The losers can only get better luck next time. Meanwhile, inside the Black Castle, a large number of demon soldiers lie in pools of blood. They all died at the hands of the same person. In moments, that person reaches the room where Saint Tess Abelson is imprisoned, then removes his hood. "Saint Tess Abelson, I've come to rescue you." The person is the rescue team sent by the Pope, a hero hidden in the Holy Empire's shadows, Osald Geffen. Unexpectedly, after explaining his purpose, he's refused by Abelson, who simultaneously demands he leave. Geffen scratches his head with a smile, slowly approaching Abelson, stating that this is his mission and he must complete it. But unexpectedly, Abelson still refuses, mentioning the voracious eater Hermes. "If you don't leave, I'll use holy power to notify her." But before she finishes, Geffen's heavy punch already lands on Abelson's abdomen. "Sleep well. When you open your eyes again, you'll be in the Empire." Abelson is held tightly, a suffocating dizziness slowly emerging. How can he possess holy power? "No, I absolutely cannot return to that place." Just as Abelson is about to pass out, a sandbag-sized fist smashes hard into Geffen's face. "Get your filthy hands off her, you bastard." It's Il. This punch uses nearly all his strength, but Geffen remains completely unmoved. "A guy radiating dark magic? Interesting, though you look more human on the outside." Geffen sneers. "Nice moves, but your magic power is far lacking." Before he finishes speaking, Il attacks again, a whirlwind carrying quite powerful magic. His movements far exceed Geffen's expectations. This makes Geffen interested in Il, wanting to bring him back to the Empire as well. Geffen blocks the attack and counterstrikes. The terrifying force makes blood gush from Il's mouth, and he loses consciousness on the spot. Did he die? Perhaps the instant rage caused Geffen's strength to go out of control. Rachel, hiding nearby, is instantly shocked seeing this. He took down my hero with one hit. I should probably go get Popo." After confirming Il isn't dead, Geffen pulls out a scroll from his pocket. This is a high-level holy magic scroll prepared just in case. But just then, an extremely imposing female voice suddenly sounds from behind. "What's happening here? Do you need my help?" It's Hermes. I didn't sense her presence at all. Geffen suppresses his shock and quickly turns. Voracious Eater Hermes. That title isn't very polite. Perhaps calling me Gourmet would be more appropriate. Hermes jokes with a smile. In complete contrast to Hermes' attitude, cold sweat pours down Geffen's face. Can I win? The Pope had repeatedly warned to absolutely avoid fighting the Voracious Eater, but Geffen had scoffed at this. But truly facing the Voracious Eater, he finally understands why the Pope was so insistent. I can't sense any demonic energy at all. Even at close range, he can't detect Hermes' presence at all. This isn't a good sign. It means the power gap between them is enormous. But Geffen has defeated countless opponents stronger than himself. He wants to challenge himself again. Between heartbeats, Hermes' terrifying magic power crashes down on Geffen like a raging storm. Don't panic, must focus and find the right moment to escape with the Saint Tess. Then while he's thinking, his brain suddenly feels dizzy. His arm has been severed. When did that happen? Geffen freezes instantly. Come, make this fun for me. Hermes opens her gaping maw. Geffen realizes he's completely lost. Forget escaping with the Saint Tess. Even his own survival is uncertain now. After confirming the mission's failure, he directly bites down and crushes the scroll in his mouth. Suddenly, a bright light flashes as the holy magic on the scroll activates. Such pure holy power would reduce ordinary demons or beasts to ash on contact. But Hermes, standing right there, merely furrows her brow slightly. Oh my, trying to escape? Won't you play with me a bit longer? In the blink of an eye, Geffen vanishes without a trace. His escape skills are quite good. Actually, Hermes deliberately let him go. If she truly wanted to kill, she could have killed Geffen thousands of times within a minute. Demons have appeared on the continent for over 500 years. Countless demons have come and gone in cycles. However, only two demons are exceptions: the Demon Lord and Hermes. They stand like towering mountains, unwavering. The Demon Lord almost never appears before others, but the Voracious Eater Hermes is entirely different. The ones killed this time are all Lodron's minions. Lodron will be upset. Time flies and soon it's the next day. Il undergoes Lodron's training again. Your attack methods and way of casting magic remain the same as before. Too simple and direct. Your imagination is limited, so your movements appear monotonous and rigid. Lodron points out Il's flaws, but then shifts tone. No matter how strong you are, there's always someone stronger. So for victory, using any tactics is justified. Under Lodron's instruction, today's training officially concludes. Once he leaves, Il immediately collapses on the ground. I'm dying! Someone save me! Under the goddess Rachel's healing, Il's condition begins to improve. To you now, I'm just a healing potion, aren't I? But facing Rachel's complaints, Il's thoughts have already drifted far away. I have nothing to tell you. Become stronger, Il. Only with sufficient power can you uphold your beliefs. Saint Tess Abelson said I need to become stronger. Il's untimely words instantly stir Rachel's jealousy. Are you still thinking about that woman? You nearly lost your life for her. You spoke disrespectfully of the Saint Tess. That's punishable by divine retribution. While the two bicker, Rachel voices her confusion. That blonde assassin can clearly use holy power, so why would he attack a Saint Tess from his own side? Il nods in agreement. As the next Saint Tess, she should be extremely valuable. Either way, we can't discuss the Saint Tess anymore. Why? Because you like her? Il covers his ears. Enough, stop being jealous. Contrary to his stubborn pride now, several dozen minutes later, Il lies in his quarters crying. Let my life end now. I don't want to be human in my next life. His behavior leaves Popo completely confused. Are you worried about that fool? I think you've come to see him as your master. To answer Popo's confusion, Rachel recounts what happened 10 minutes ago. Back then, Il was summoned to Hermes' office. I have a serious problem right now. I'm bored. Hermes' words startle Il. What does she want now? I want to see something interesting. You have 1 month. Go defeat a battalion commander. Seeing Il's troubled expression, Hermes extends her finger, indicating that if he feels he can't do it, she can help him the same way she helped Kulkan. Not at all necessary. I will perfectly execute your request. After explaining everything to Popo, Rachel doesn't forget to add, say goodbye to him, Popo. You won't see him soon. After saying this, she flies to Il's side. Accept your fate. With your 9,000 power level, you think you can defeat a battalion commander. I'm already miserable. I don't mind dragging someone down with me, Il says, lying back on the table. Those who become battalion commanders generally have power levels exceeding 40,000. Turning to look at Popo below, whose power level has reached immeasurable heights, Il sighs. If only you could fight in my place. But this battle is expected to be in duel form. Yes, that's right. Before finishing, Il seems to think of something. A duel? No, Hermes didn't say this had to be a duel. After triple checking with Rachel, Il confirms Hermes didn't require a duel. That means I can use any method to win, ambush, gang up, even bring Popo, or all three combined. Lure him out, then have Popo lead an ambush and gang up on him. Should I call you clever or cowardly? Rachel shakes her head after hearing Il's plan. But now, a tricky problem faces them: how to lure the battalion commander out. However, this problem isn't a problem for Il. He just needs to select some ribs, add honey to draw out the blood, then slice some mushrooms, Of course, seasonings and garlic are essential, and water-spitting fish as garnish. Just put all these ingredients in the pot, simmer on low heat for 2 hours, then it burns. Damn it. But Il takes the opportunity to salvage the unburned parts, finally sprinkling some scallions. Perfect! With this delicacy, I'm sure no battalion commander can resist. In the camp on the other side, the peace-loving battalion commander Taurus, as usual, leisurely enjoys his food. Having offloaded the troublemaker Azolu from his unit, he's finally achieved true peace. But just then, a subordinate reports, head chef Il requests an audience. Taurus waves dismissively without thinking. Tell him returning Azolu is impossible, but facing Taurus's instruction, the soldier shakes his head. No, he says he's here to express gratitude. He wants to personally cook for you. Hearing the word cook, Taurus's eyes immediately widen. There's always been a rumor that Il's roast can even conquer Hermes' taste buds, so he quickly orders Il to enter. Shortly after the soldier withdraws, Il walks in carrying a large plate, and for ceremonial effect, he even holds a red rose in his mouth. Lord Taurus, long time no see. This scene makes Taurus's face flush red, his heart pounding like a wild deer, but he quickly realizes something's off and forces himself to calm down. I heard you're here to express gratitude? Yes. Thanks to your care a month ago, I was able to become head chef smoothly. Il places the plate before Taurus. But to express my gratitude to Lord Taurus, I've carefully prepared this dish. I hope you'll enjoy it. Taurus pays no attention to Il's words, his gaze already locked firmly on the dish on the table. Wait, this aroma. Taurus unceremoniously grabs a large rib, the aroma making him unable to resist. Gratitude or whatever. He's already curious about the meat's taste to the point of madness. Taurus stuffs the meat in his mouth and begins savoring it slowly. Then unpleasant sounds flow from this pig's mouth. So delicious, I can't stand it. Ah! A flash of murderous intent crosses Il's face, but it vanishes instantly. Taurus doesn't notice. This meat tastes really good, Taurus says with a red face, seemingly only now feeling ashamed of his earlier behavior. I'm glad it suits your taste. Il forces a kind smile that would make anyone think he's genuinely happy. Then I'll take my leave. Il suppresses his disgust, turns and opens the door. But the instant he leaves the room, Il vomits up everything he ate this week. How to describe the scene I witnessed? It was nothing but disgusting, utterly disgusting. I must slaughter this pig. And so, Il delivers meals to Taurus for a week, regularly feeding him meat to make him a meat slave, then taking him to the forest to finish him off. That was Il's original plan. But today, after tasting the food, Taurus suddenly shows a troubled expression and stops. It turns out, tomorrow he will face a position defense battle. If he loses, he'll lose his battalion commander position. It's all because I became like this that people look down on me. Taurus looks at his bloated figure with a self-mocking smile, then devours the meat in large gulps, but Il falls into deep despair. It's over. If this pig gets killed in the duel, a week of my efforts will be wasted, and no matter how you look at it, this pig can't possibly win the decisive battle. You should have managed your figure properly, you stupid pig. Il wants to grab Taurus by the collar and roar, but just then Taurus's voice suddenly sounds, if you have time, I hope you'll come watch, you're my lucky charm. Okay, Il nods, then silently prays in his heart, please, let the challenger be even worse than Taurus. The next day, Il finishes his daily work with panda eyes and arrives at the dueling arena. Look on the bright side. Maybe that pig will suddenly awaken and become a super pig. But what super pig weighs over 800 pounds? Impossible! Il doesn't even believe his own self-consoling nonsense. Inside the arena, Taurus takes a full half hour just to climb the stairs to the platform. But seeing Il in the stands, he feels everything he's done is meaningful. My lucky charm, you finally came! His opponent is a burly, robust demon with a deer head. Clearly, Il's prayers were disastrous. Soon, at the referee's command, the duel begins. The deer-headed demon attacks first. His speed is extremely fast, but he stops the instant he hits Taurus. Unexpectedly, Taurus, who seems to have trouble even walking, has enough strength to firmly control his opponent. Next, he positions himself, then suddenly exerts force. The violent attack instantly shatters the entire dueling arena. Even Il, far away in the stands, is almost caught by the attack's aftershock. Il is certain this battle is over, and the victor is the demon Taurus. After the duel ends, Il returns to his quarters. Having witnessed Taurus's true power, he's certain that Popo alone cannot defeat Taurus. Therefore, Il modifies his plan. He needs to find stronger creatures deep in the hunting forest to jointly strike Taurus, like the Taurus Queen, for example. Thanks to these cooking soldiers' hard work, Il is able to understand this area's situation. His face is full of pride. Hero, are you planning to? That's right, there's a saying. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. On the third day in the back mountain forest, Rachel covers her mouth as if about to vomit any moment. After memorizing the Beast Encyclopedia for 3 days straight, the knowledge has filled her brain capacity. Before I throw up, let's get going quickly. Il nods, then pulls out a map. The first target is 1 kilometer ahead. The cooking soldiers marked it as a monster called Simi Bufi. Rachel chimes in. In ancient language, it means forest worm. Mossbeat and Estinibia has similar appearances with it. But this option is rejected because Rachel thinks this creature's attack power isn't strong. How about that? Isn't this goddess talented? Call me the beast expert. Il is stunned. Yes, you're not only talented but also very wise. That said, Empty-headed guys do learn fast. Soon enough, Il gathers all the kitchen soldiers. He studies the map carefully, and one location catches his eye, marked as covered in steel-like scales, dragon-shaped appearance. But Rachel says there are many types of dragons, and these descriptions can't determine which kind. Il thinks dragons have the strongest attack power, so he decides to check it out himself. Arriving at the dragon's territory, Il issues today's mission to the kitchen soldiers. We're cleaning this place out. No need to catch them alive. Hunt on sight, eat on sight. Il's decision excites the kitchen soldiers like never before. Whoa, the head chef finally came to his senses. We can eat fresh meat till we're stuffed. Meat! I want meat. Soon they slaughter a large number of beasts here. Contrary to the kitchen soldiers' excitement, Il appears restless at this moment. Why hasn't the Beast Lord shown up yet? Logically speaking, with so many small ones dead, the big one should appear by now, right? So to avoid wasting an entire day, Il decides to take things further, ordering the kitchen soldiers to start fires and roast all these beasts on the spot. Sure enough, shortly after the barbecue begins, the ground suddenly starts trembling. At the same time, Il's eyes light up. Is it coming? Though he doesn't know what it is, he senses something massive approaching. Before long, a beast crashes through the trees and appears, its eyes blood red, standing at a terrifying 5 meters tall, with a dragon-like head and entire body covered in black scales. Il immediately puts on his power gauge. Power immeasurable. Immeasurable. Perfect, the power level qualifies. Rachel tells Il this is a beast called Nidrake, whose combat power rivals that of a battalion commander. A giant dragon appeared. Run. The cooking soldiers scatter in panic. But Il smirks at this moment. We can defeat Doris. Everyone, I'll take the lead. With that, Il bolts away at full speed. Meanwhile, Lodrin is summoned to Hermes' office. What has Il been up to lately? Lodrin replies that he's doing the same as always, carrying out his duties as head chef. Hermes finds this unusual. Il has been behaving too peacefully lately. Don't tell me, Lodrin, you taught him some incredible technique again? No, we're just doing routine training. Hermes then asks what the odds are of Il defeating a battalion commander, and Lodrin answers 0, though Il has been peaceful lately. Lodrin has also noticed something strange. I heard he's been getting quite close to Doris recently. You mean that pig? Hermes looks puzzled. He says he can defeat a battalion commander, yet now he's getting so close to one. What is he thinking? How interesting. Let's wait and see. Over the following days, Il repeatedly prepares delicious dishes for Doris. This is absolutely delicious. Thank you for providing the barbecue today too. After devouring 50 plates of barbecue, Doris lets out a little burp. At that moment, Il deliberately sighs with difficulty. This strange behavior immediately catches Doris's attention. What's wrong? Did something happen? Il's eyes glisten with tears. It's nothing, just that something happened in our kitchen department. This might be the last time I can bring you a meal. Doris jumped to his feet. What? What happened? Il waves his hands. Commander Hermes wants to taste special beast meat, but this beast is too powerful. We still couldn't capture it. This statement shocks Doris. He can't fathom what beast could be that powerful. Marble pattern beast? What's that? I've never heard of it. But it's perfectly normal that Doris hasn't heard of it, because Il just made it up on the spot. This concerns life and death. I wouldn't lie about this. Seeing Il's predicament, Doris offers to lend him 200 soldiers, but Il refuses. He believes the soldiers are too weak. No matter how many are sent, they'd just be throwing their lives away. However, if our great Lord Doris were to personally step in, perhaps this trouble would be resolved. And if you do this, I'll make sure Commander Hermes knows of Lord Doris's contribution. Just imagining that after success, the commander might cup his handsome face and praise him. Doris gets excited instantly. Will it really be like that? Seeing Doris waver, Il quickly repeats that he'll definitely inform the commander, which finally gets him to agree. All right then, I'll help you. After all, we're friends. Really? You agreed? A meaningful smile crosses Il's lowered face. Thank you, my lord. Rising at dawn the next day, Il leads a large force to the forest. Today is the decisive battle day, codenamed Pig Hunt Operation. Therefore, he specially brings along the strongest fighters among the cooking soldiers, Popo and Azulu. Though there's still time before Hermes' deadline, they decide to act early. Il heads toward Doris's troops, and soon both sides meet up, then proceed together toward the forest. Not only does Doris come, he even brings all the soldiers from his battalion, showing how seriously he takes this matter. But this isn't good news for Il. This is way too much, over 500 soldiers. Of course, Nidrake, you're no coward either, right? Il can only console himself this way. After advancing into the forest depths for who knows how long, the earth suddenly begins shaking violently. Il gulps nervously. That's the one! It's coming! Good, time to stretch these muscles. Doris stretches and jumps down from the carriage. At the same time, Nidrake crashes through the forest trees and reveals itself, its roar echoing across the entire land. Nidrake's strange cry makes Doris frown. So that's the beast called the marble pattern beast? But I feel like I've seen it somewhere before. Then Doris lost in thought. Il quickly interrupts his thoughts. Don't all beasts look pretty much the same? Ha ha ha, I suppose so. Fortunately, Doris is easily convinced by Il. Then I'll handle this guy. You must report my contribution to the commander. With that, Doris charges forward alone. Of course, I'll personally report everything in detail to the commander. Il's lips curl slightly upward. Soon, Doris and Nidrake engage in battle, and each time Doris clashes with Nedrake, earth-shattering booms erupt, the ground cracks and rocks shatter. "My lord hero, when do we make our move? At this rate, that pig will really take down Nedrake," Rachel whispers from within Ill's arms. But Ill's eyes widen in surprise. He never expected Doris would make such a decision, sacrificing the battalion. Soldiers to absorb Nedrake's attacks while keeping himself virtually unscathed. But just as the battle reaches its peak, a soldier suddenly rushes over in a frantic panic, shouting loudly that another beast is attacking. This completely disrupts Ill's plan. "Isn't this Nedrake's territory? According to natural law, beasts generally don't invade each other's domains." Before long, the ground splits open, and a giant worm-like beast bursts forth. "That's Simi Boofy!" Rachel recognizes the beast instantly and shouts, "Why did that thing suddenly appear?" Ill roars. However, the appearing beast isn't the last one. Beasts dominating various parts of the forest keep showing up one after another. This is completely beyond the plan. Knowing he's outmatched, Doris immediately issues a retreat order to the soldiers. Meanwhile, Rachel grows tense. "My lord hero, what do? We can't let Doris leave here." Ill knows this all too well. If Doris leaves, the one who dies will definitely be himself. He takes desperate deep breaths to steady his emotions, then slowly utters a few words. "Lodron combat technique first form." "Ah, what are you talking about right now?" Doris looks completely confused, but in less than 1 second, Ill's heavy punch already slams into Doris's abdomen. "Cancel that order, we absolutely cannot retreat." Ill suddenly raises his voice. "Everyone, fight bravely, we have no way back. Only those who survive are qualified to attend the victory feast." His booming voice drowns out the chaotic forest. Meanwhile, the struck Doris falls into thought. When are demons most enraged? When beaten black and blue? No. Or when defeated in a command succession battle? Still no. It's when betrayed by insect like humans. He showed him kindness, yet he dares betray him. Doris rages to the point of nearly losing his sanity, wanting nothing more than to rush up and tear Ill to shreds. "Ill!" Crimson light bursts from Doris's eyes, with only one thought left in his mind. "Kill Ill!" Doris makes up his mind and unleashes his ultimate hidden technique. Demon Bloodline Second Stage Bloom. This is a skill that trades burning one's life force for explosive power. Ill is completely stunned, and even Rachel urges him to flee immediately. But Doris's attack is indiscriminate and lethal. His battle aura spreads outward with himself as the center, and the beast Simabufi near Doris dies instantly. Fortunately, Ill is far enough away so his injuries aren't too severe, but Doris's rage doesn't diminish in the slightest. "I'll tear you to shreds." At this critical moment, Ill remembers he still has his 2 trump cards. "Popo and Azulu, where are they?" Rachel looks worried. "They seem to have been dragged into Simabufi's burrow." Hearing this news, Ill feels utterly hopeless, which means he must defeat Doris alone. An almost impossible feat. However, at that moment, Doris's trembling body suddenly coughs twice, with blood flowing from the corner of his mouth. This makes Ill instantly realize that Doris's devastating technique apparently comes with extremely severe side effects. So Ill immediately takes off running. "Rachel, quickly tell me what beasts are nearby." 11 o'clock direction. If you keep going, you'll reach the ogre habitat. Ogres are very strong creatures, with combat power generally above 30,000. However, for Doris currently in the Bloom of Blossom second stage form, they're like roadside trash, swatted away with ease. Just like that, one runs and one chases, the situation lasting about 10 minutes. Doris gradually loses patience, so he stops in his tracks and unleashes the 3rd stage of Bloom of Blossom. Instantly, waves of immense power flow endlessly from within his body. But at that moment, Doris's heart suddenly sends out a sharp pain, accompanied by violent coughing, with mouthfuls of fresh blood continuously pouring from his mouth. Rachel can sense that the demon energy within him is rapidly depleting. What's happening? Have I already reached my limit? I must have exhausted too much stamina during the chase. Realizing the situation is dire, Doris immediately turns and runs. "Hey, where are you going, buddy? Just you wait. Once I recover my strength, you're dead." Perhaps his stamina is too depleted. Doris only runs a few steps before Ill catches up. "You can't escape." Ill clenches his fist, gathering all his mana into it. Lodron combat technique 7th form, Destruction Shockwave. But to his surprise, even though severely overextended, Doris still catches his strongest attack. Both sides' mana continuously collides in the air, as if it could tear the earth apart the next second. But at that moment, an unknown force intervenes in the clash, instantly sending Ill flying. "Damn it, what's going on?" Not understanding, he quickly looks up to observe, only to see Doris clinging to Hermes' leg begging for mercy. "Please save me, Commander." But what responds to him is the intense demonic power bursting from Hermes. "Shut up, Doris. Just how stupid are you to be beaten this badly by a mere human?" Doris immediately falls silent. Taking advantage of their stunned moment, Ill dashes forward in one swift move, just as we agreed. "At this moment, I have successfully defeated a battalion commander." The instant his words fall, Ill's kick slams hard into the back of Doris's head. Saying he defeated a battalion commander isn't wrong. Hermes' enormous lips split horizontally. "Heh heh heh heh. How fascinating." Laughter bursts forth uncontrollably. In the office, Hermes questions, "I told you to defeat a battalion commander, and this is the method you used?" "I've exhausted every method I could think of, but I didn't expect to turn the troops into such chaos." After hearing Ill's explanation, Hermes bursts out laughing. "What on earth goes through your head to reach such conclusions? I'd love to crack it open and see." Ill freezes upon hearing this. "Please restrain your curiosity. I would be most grateful. Hermes feels Il is exploiting a loophole in her words, but considering this is the first time, she grudgingly acknowledges that Il completed the mission. I don't like this. Don't let it happen again. Il can only nod like a submissive underling. Yes, my lord. Thank you very much. Returning to Popo's residence, Il collapses on the floor. Phew! I really thought I was going to die. Today was utterly exhausting. Every moment felt like walking on thin ice. By the way, what was that enhancement form Doris used? It seems to be a martial skill unique to the demon race. We might ask that Minotaur about it. Hearing their conversation, Popo, who is resting at home, pokes out its head and calls out tentatively. All right. Popo worked hard too. I'm sorry I couldn't take better care of you. After hearing this, Popo chirps energetically, seemingly indicating it's fine. Aw, so cute. Il keeps stroking Popo's head. Speaking of which, I do feel a bit bad about Doris. He treated me pretty well, yet I deceived him in the end. Really? You don't look the least bit guilty to me. Rachel's eyes narrow to slits. No, I'm sorry, truly sorry. Il covers his face with both hands, but his upturned lips show through. Hey, you're smiling right now, aren't you? Take your hands away. After defeating Doris, Il jumps all the way to level 420, and his combat power reaches a terrifying 13,936 points. Excellent! Let's keep this momentum and push forward. Let's celebrate with a drink. Rachel brings over a large mug of beer. Let's toast to taking down Doris. 3 days later at dawn, Il arrives at the training grounds early, even half an hour before Laudren. You're here, Laudren. Yes, congratulations on defeating Doris. Thank you. Il slowly walks over, taking the opportunity to ask, Laudren, do you know about Battle Aura? Laudren closes his eyes, then nods. Though the timing is a bit early, if it's you, it should be fine. Actually, Laudren had originally planned to teach Battle Aura much later, as it's quite dangerous. Laudren says, Battle Aura includes tangible Battle Aura that follows specific technique patterns and intangible Battle Aura that has no patterns to follow. Intangible Battle Aura is much rarer, and the Bloom of Blossom that Doris used belongs to intangible Battle Aura. According to Il's understanding, the first type is an attack skill, while the second is a buff skill. Laudren continues explaining, Evolution Form is an ancient combat skill. Anyone who can use demon energy can learn it, but very few use it because it comes with extremely severe side effects. Il falls into thought, is it possible for me to learn this Evolution Form skill as well? I seem to have dark magic within me too. But Laudren explains that it merely exists within his body, not dark magic generated by himself. Then it shouldn't be a problem. Even if something goes wrong, we still have Lady Abelson here. Il wants to learn this technique even though it's dangerous. Laudren holds his forehead, bowing his head in thought for a long time. So Il immediately kneels down and grabs Laudren's leg. If you don't teach me, I'll die. You know Commander Hermes' temperament. She might make me duel a regiment commander tomorrow, under his desperate pleading. Laudren can only agree, but be prepared as it may endanger your life. Understood. Every moment I'm here, I'm gambling with my life. Then let's begin. Meanwhile, in the underground prison of the Galen Empire's cathedral, at this moment before the Pope, hangs a bloody and battered man, none other than Osel Geffen. Having failed the mission to rescue the Saint Tess, he has become a criminal. His cracked lips tremble. The Pope, is it starting? Another round of torture. Torment disguised as penance. The Pope nods, acknowledging Geffen's words, I'll give you a chance to atone for your crimes. The Pope's nauseating words make him want to retch, but Osel doesn't want to die yet. What chance? Kill Abelson Mariette. The Pope's expression turns cold. Geffen suspects he misheard. What did you say? Why? This makes no sense. Kill the candidate Saint Tess? What do you gain from this? The Pope doesn't answer, only telling him the reason need not be known. Geffen shakes his head. I can't accept this mission. The glutton in the Black Castle, that's not someone I can handle. Hearing this, the Pope's stern expression instantly softens. Don't worry, we'll act when the glutton is away. Additionally, I'll dispatch 3 knights to assist you, so this time you must succeed, Geffen. On the path to glory, failure absolutely cannot be tolerated. On the other side, after using evolution form, Il collapses on the ground. Fortunately, Laudren calls for Abelson. Are you both insane, making a human practice combat technique specifically designed for demons? Il said he felt fine, and over time, the demon energy remaining in his body would decrease. Abelson stares at Laudren with a dangerous look. Are you a cleric? When you're not an expert yourself, how can you determine something is safe? If left untreated, Il's survival rate is less than 1%. Previously, she wrapped and sealed the demon energy within him, but now it has all been released. In this situation, Abelson has only one method, to fully fuse the demonic power within Il's body with his flesh. This is completely different from the previous situation where demonic power merely lingered within. It's a fundamental transformation of the human species that shouldn't be possible by normal logic. I will use holy power to suppress the demon energy, then spread it widely and evenly, adjusting the concentration in each part until it's within a range his body can accept. Is this really possible? Laudren's expression turns grave. I'm not sure either, there's no precedent. There's also a possibility that the demon energy will resist the holy power and become violent, but regardless, we have no choice but to at least try. As her words fall, a dazzling golden light instantly illuminates the surroundings, and holy power surging from Abelson's body begins seeping into Il's. 3 days later, Il groans and opens his eyes. What happened to me? Before he can even get up, Popo and Rachel rush over. You're awake, you finally woke up. Our hero finally woke up. Rachel stares intently at Il. My lord hero, are you alright? I'm fine. Il answers in a weak voice. His memory stops at learning evolution form, but his body doesn't seem abnormal. Il checks while opening his status screen. Just as I thought. What he feared most has happened. The box symbol that suddenly appeared on his status screen not long ago has now changed to demon energy. I'm really done for now. Rachel, is it possible for a hero to possess demon energy? Shortly after Il wakes up, Hermes and Lodron also arrive upon hearing the news. I told you he'd wake up, didn't I? Hermes hears the entire story from Lodron and finds it fascinating. You attempted to convert demon energy into human power? With such an interesting idea, why didn't you tell me about it? Hermes' voice suddenly drops. It seems there's a reason humans call her Saint Tess. To keep you alive under such circumstances, how about I give you a little help? In an instant, Hermes' mouth slowly splits open, and she approaches step by step with a smile, releasing her magic power. Just as Il tries to retreat, massive amounts of magic power flood into his body. In excruciating pain, his consciousness gradually fades. Don't worry, Lodron, he'll be fine. It's alright, just sleep it off, you should feel honored. With this inexplicable statement, Il's consciousness cuts out completely. The demon lord summoned me, I need to go. Lodron, I have something to entrust to you. In the blink of an eye, 3 days have passed since Hermes left, and the collapsed Il fortunately recovers quickly, all thanks to Abelson's efforts. During these days, she's been taking meticulous care of Il. Thank you, Lady Abelson. No need to thank me. It was your willpower that helped you through. Abelson suddenly says quietly, you are my only hope. This statement leaves Il confused, but Abelson refuses to say more. Today's treatment is finished. I must go. Lady Abelson, why does she keep suddenly saying these strange things? Just how much is she hiding from me? After Abelson leaves, Il immediately finds Lodron and requests to continue training. Are you sure it's okay? Lodron looks at Il with concern. Lady Abelson also said as long as I don't mobilize magic power, it's fine. Listening to Il's words, Lodron's thoughts have already wandered far away. It's been 3 days since Commander Hermes left. This meeting held at the Demon Lord's castle is an annual event, but for some reason I have a bad feeling about it this year. Lodron? Lodron? Only after Il's repeated calls does he snap back. You've been really busy these days, haven't you? Because you shoulder all the responsibilities of the Legion commander. Is there anything I can help you with? Lodron shakes his head. It's fine. The commander will be back soon anyway, so don't worry about me. Focus on taking care of yourself. Hearing these touching words, Il immediately bows deeply. Yes, sir, I understand. Looking at his beaming face, Lodron has another thought. Il has indeed grown stronger, though he himself doesn't seem to have noticed yet. Is this evolution from his body adapting to demon energy? Perhaps Il's body is growing stronger as it adapts to the demonic power. Just as he's contemplating the reason for this growth, Lodron's expression suddenly freezes. This is holy power. In the Demon Army 3rd Legion headquarters Black Giant Star, Lodron actually senses holy power. Though candidate Saint Tess Abelson is indeed stationed here, what he senses now is definitely not Abelson's power. Someone is hiding holy power. There are 4. If Lodron weren't exceptionally sensitive to holy power, he probably wouldn't notice the anomaly at all. Looks like trouble's brewing. Il says, what trouble? No time to explain, stay here. Leaving Il standing there dumbfounded, Lodron hurries off in a certain direction. Perhaps to keep their movements hidden, the invaders are advancing slowly. The infiltration is going quite smoothly. Is it because the glutton isn't here, Geffen? Unlike the knight's relaxed state, Geffen is quite grave this time. Keep it down. The glutton may not be here, but another monster exists in this castle, called the Red Nightmare. Just as he finishes speaking, the arriving Lodron successfully intercepts them. The invaders are 4 humans wearing black hoods, clearly stunned when they see Lodron suddenly appear. He's the Red Nightmare! This guy's demonic power is extraordinary! Everyone be careful! The leading Geffen immediately issues combat orders to the squad. Lucas, Nell, go find Saint Tess Abelson. Orca, you and I will face the Red Nightmare together. Looking at those eyes, Lodron frowned. That guy is at least division commander level. Oseld Geffen can sense division commander level magic power from him. The target is probably to rescue Abelson. Since they bear such an important mission, they must have brought the most elite forces, and the remaining 3 are at least company commander level. Honestly, Oseld Geffen alone is difficult enough to handle. But fortunately at this moment, Il's voice comes from behind. Lodron, this looks quite serious, so I rushed over too. Though Lodron outwardly says, didn't I tell you to stay put and wait for me, inwardly he's actually full of gratitude. Listen, Il, their target is the Saint Tess. As Lodron speaks, he removes his necklace and tosses it to him. Take the Saint Tess and flee immediately. Use this necklace as proof to summon the senior officers of our unit. Understood. Il nods without hesitation. At the same time, the human side also begins to move. Geffen and Lodron engage in fierce combat. Stop that guy, if this gets out of hand, it'll be troublesome. 2 knights immediately chase after Il. Without the commander's orders, you absolutely cannot take the Saint Tess. At this moment, Lodron swings his fist toward the ground. Lodron combat technique 7th form, explosion shockwave. The instant his fist contacts the ground flips and heaves. Thanks to Lodron's help, Il successfully escapes and rushes straight to Abelson's room. At this moment, the hero system suddenly pops up. Evil villains are attempting to kill Abelson Mariette. As the hero, you have a duty to protect this candidate Saint Tess. Objective: protect Abelson Mariette. Reward 1,000 hero points. Evil villains attempting to kill Abelson Mariette. This statement seems bizarre. That group is most likely a rescue team sent by the Holy Galen Empire, so aren't they the righteous side? And the reward is too generous. The bounty is actually as high as 1,000 hero points. Il shakes his head to clear his distracting thoughts and bursts into the Saint Tess's room. Humans have broken in again. It's the same ones as last time. We need to flee quickly. Since Il holds Laudren's necklace in his hand, the Minotaurs guarding the Saint Tess don't obstruct him. The invaders are here. We will stop anyone from entering. Human, take the Saint Tess and run quickly. The situation is urgent, so Il scoops Abelson up in his arms. Please forgive my rudeness. Demon Army 3rd Legion Headquarters conference room, where Commander Roigel is currently holding a meeting with officers. Currently, 2 commanders are stationed at the Black Castle, and each commander oversees 5 battalion commanders. Because Doris died in battle, only 9 battalion commanders remain. During the meeting, a goblin suddenly reports an emergency. Emergency! A human carrying Laudren's necklace has arrived here. He says humans attacked the castle because they're hunting the Saint Tess. What's going on? Not understanding, Roigel comes out to meet Il. This commander's appearance is indistinguishable from humans. Il has seen him before. He's the high-ranking demon who appeared during Doris's commander selection battle. Explain to me in detail what happened. Il takes out Laudren's necklace and tells everything that just happened. After hearing this, Roigel looks utterly perplexed. Humans want to kill the Saint Tess? How is that possible? However, the very next second, as if hearing something, he shouts loudly for everyone to get out of the way. Sure enough, 2 black shadows suddenly descend from above. Their target points directly at the Saint Tess, though Roigel immediately casts action restraint, attempting to bind the attackers. The distance is too far. He can't make it in time. Just as the hero quest described, this group's purpose isn't to rescue Abelson, but to kill Abelson. Sharp blades whistle toward them with momentum to pierce through anything. Laudren Combat Technique 7th Form, Explosion Shockwave. At this critical moment, Il successfully strikes the attackers. I will protect Lady Abelson. Il sends Lucas flying with a single punch, successfully rescuing Abelson. Lucas steadies himself and speaks, I didn't expect the Demon King's army to have another hero. Il says, you've lost. The city's forces will converge on this location very soon. No matter how powerful you are, you can't hold off an entire legion. Surrender now. Il curls his lips into a cold smirk. Lost? Are you sure about that? Lucas suddenly begins chanting, this flesh of mine belongs to the gods. Let it become flaming arrows and return to the heavens. I call upon the divine to grant me strength to vanquish evil and slay demons. Roigel's face drains of color at the sight of the flames. Is this sacred magic? He cries out in disbelief. This man is actually casting a self-immolation spell. He's completely insane. At this moment, only Il, Abelson, and Lucas remain within the wall of fire, completely cut off from the outside world. Lucas says with confidence, the high-ranking demons outside can't easily pass through this firewall, so abandon the Saint Tess hero. Il demands in confusion, you're both human, why do you want to kill her? Miss Abelson is one of your own people. Lucas scoffs, one of our own? You're an idiot. You've been watching all this unfold and you still haven't figured out the truth? Abelson quickly explains, Mr. Il, the Holy Empire was abandoned by the gods a long time ago. She chokes up, what they want is an obedient puppet. Whether that puppet is the true Saint Tess doesn't matter to them at all. Lucas says impatiently, I'll give you 10 seconds to decide whether to surrender. Il thinks to himself, how long can I last against this guy in a straight fight? There's only one thing I can do. So Il lets his demonic energy surge through his body. Multiform first stage bloom, officially activated. Abelson shouts in panic, Mr. Il, you can't use demonic energy. Your body won't be able to take it. Il's eyes are steady and resolute. I don't have a choice. If this keeps up, we're all dead. In an instant, his demonic energy spikes even higher. Multiform second stage full bloom forcibly activated. Laudren's warning echoes in Il's mind. Multiform has 3 stages: bloom, full bloom, and fallen petal. Never skip ahead to the next stage. If you do, it's a death sentence. Il says silently to himself, I'm truly sorry, Lord Laudren, but let me push myself just one more time. Il's heart pounds wildly, as though it could burst at any moment. Rachel sees this and cries out in panic, Sir Hero, have you lost your mind? You can't use multiform. Soon, Il's demonic energy erupts completely. Multiform third stage fallen petal successfully activated. Feeling the full force of this power, Il gives a direct order, Rachel, keep boosting me. Don't stop. Now then, here I come. Il charges forward with a swing of his fist, and his knuckles crash hard against Lucas's sword. Lucas says, your power will be spent within minutes. All I have to do is wait, and victory is mine. Il surges with force, and forces Lucas's sword aside with sheer strength. Lucas is stunned. Il just pushed back that sword with his bare wrist. This is insane. Il seizes the opening and drives a straight punch directly into Lucas's chest, saying, I don't think you'll be waiting that long. Lucas roars in pain and fury. You actually resort to such petty tricks. Il's breathing is ragged, and exhaustion begins to creep through his body. He's reaching his limit. He thinks with quiet dread, but if I go down, what happens to Abelson? Laudron's warning rings out in his mind once more. Multiform is a technique that pushes the body to its absolute limit. Using combat skills in that state will cause the body to completely break down beyond recovery. But Il thinks to himself, still, that beautiful woman Abelson is crying her heart out right in front of me. Forget it. Even if my body breaks down, I'm going to fight. Il knows his body has already gone past its limit. Even if he stops now, there's no way to prevent the breakdown. With no way back, there's only one option. Give it everything. Abelson watches in deep worry. If I use holy power on Mr. Il carelessly right now, his body could explode. Abelson prays with all her heart, God, please, don't take him away. Two kinds of energy begin to swirl around Il's body. Lucas bursts out laughing in shock. He's actually going to use two combat skills at the same time. Is he trying to self-destruct? Il leaps into the air and unleashes Laudron style martial arts, type 1, slaughter. Lucas charges forward with a roar. Come on then, you heretic. I'll send you straight to hell. Il throws a heavy, thunderous punch straight at Lucas's face. Lucas dodges it with ease and sneers. Pathetic. Il tightens his fist and presses forward. There are plenty more where that came from. Don't celebrate yet. His energy form suddenly shifts. A variation of Laudron style martial arts, chain strike slaughter. The next instant, countless fists rain down on Lucas like a storm, cutting off every possible escape. Lucas is horrified. Il isn't just using two combat skills at once, he's actually changing the form of the technique with a thunderous crash. Lucas is slammed hard into the ground. Il's strength is completely spent. His consciousness fades, and he collapses in exhaustion. Abelson cries out and rushes over to catch him. She says, Mr. Il, hold on just a little longer, I'll heal you right now. But Lucas suddenly wrenches himself upright. You're still underestimating me. Your very existence defies logic. You'll become a threat to the Empire. I'm going to kill you here and now. But the very next second, a massive hand grabs him by the face. Laudron arrives, his voice heavy with guilt. I'm sorry, I'm late, Il. And with those words, Laudron exerts his force and kills Lucas in an instant. He tosses Lucas's body aside, gazes down at Il, and murmurs. So he used combat skills in the end after all. He looks toward Il and asks, Saint Tess, can you save him? Abelson gives a firm nod. I will do absolutely everything I can. Please don't die, Mr. Il. On the other side of things, in the break room of the Demon King's castle, Hermes stares at a pastry and sighs. These snacks are nothing special. Someone says impatiently, stop being so picky. Just eat what you're given. This person is none other than Pak Hyone, the commander of the Demon Army's 4th Legion and a former hero. Hermes says, when is our dear Hyone going to learn some respect for others? Just then, a hamster comes sprinting in with a report. Lord Hermes, urgent news. The Galen Empire has launched an attack. 4 knights have invaded. Among them is a hero-class individual. There are already many soldier casualties. Hermes narrows her eyes with suspicion. The Legion commander meeting was moved up without warning, and the humans chose that exact moment to strike. That's quite the coincidence, isn't it? Your Majesty, the Demon King? A few days later, Il finally wakes up. He says weakly, wow, I actually made it out alive again. Rachel grabs him by the hair and screams, you absolute lunatic. You have no regard for your own life whatsoever. You might as well have just died. Il winces through the pain. I really thought I was going to lose this time. Rachel shows no mercy. You did lose. You pulled off the combat skill, but that monster took the hit and survived. Laudron happened to show up out of nowhere and took the monster down, saving your life. He finished it off in just a few moves. It was incredible. After that, the Saint Tess and Laudron took turns looking after you every day. Popo and I also came by sometimes to keep you company. Everyone said it was a miracle from the heavens that you made it out alive. Il slowly extends his index finger toward Rachel. Rachel backs away in alarm. What are you doing? Are you about to smack me again? But Il gently pats her on the head and says softly, I'm sorry for making you worry. Thank you for everything, Rachel. Rachel's cheeks flush slightly. It's nothing. Don't make it weird. A few hours later, Laudron comes to check on Il. He mutters beside him, Il, don't you dare pull something like that ever again. Il sighs, please, I beg you. I've heard enough already. Hermes, holding Popo, chimes in, honestly, same. You've made your point. I'm sick of hearing it too. Il changes the subject. Speaking of which, Commander, how did the meeting go? Hermes waves it off. My little ones back at headquarters got completely beaten up. Do you think I had any headspace for a meeting? So I came straight back. Il's jaw drops. Wait, you just walked out on the meeting on your own? Hermes says, the Demon King seems a little upset about it, but it's fine, no big deal. A chill runs through Il and Laudron simultaneously. For some reason, the thought of the Demon King's anger is genuinely terrifying. Hermes then shifts her tone, but that's not the important thing right now. There's something far more interesting to talk about. I did plant demonic energy inside you, yes. But the fact that a mere mid-level captain of a human is able to use it so freely, Il, you truly are a fascinating human. A few more hours later, Hermes and Laudron leave Popo's home. On the way back, Hermes smiles. Congratulations, Laudron. You defeated a hero-class human all by yourself. Isn't it about time you left this place behind and climbed to a higher position? Laudron scratches the back of his head. Thank you for the kind words, but the time isn't right yet. Hermes says, why not? Is there something holding you back? Laudron answers earnestly, partly because I want to see how Il grows, and partly because I still have much to learn from you. Hermes hears this and can't help but let a smile of quiet satisfaction cross her face. Then she shifts back to business, now back to the matter at hand. The human invasion threw the city into complete chaos, and everyone seems to have gotten a little lax and complacent, so I've decided to hold an all-platoon commander selection tournament for the entire 3rd Legion. Meanwhile, Il is at home browsing the hero shop. Ever since it was upgraded to intermediate level, quite a few new things have appeared. Il studies the equipment tab, thinking it over. Should I gear myself up with a set of armor for protection? He purses his lips and shakes his head. These are all standard armor pieces. No stat bonuses attached. Not worth it. Il sighs. There are so many conditions tied to equipment. I can't make heads or tails of any of it. He makes up his mind and decides to upgrade the combat power meter first. It's the most practical option. Il stares at a new option. Generate combat skill or magic? What on earth does that mean? He takes a guess. This probably isn't an item. It must be the ability to generate a personalized technique. The system chimes. Hero points reduced by 500. Begin generating combat skill. Begin. Il has a moment of realization. So it turns out it converts movements into skills like this. He begins recording his own movements and mana fluctuations. The system chimes again. Recording complete. Generating combat skill. Physical balance optimization. Il can't help but gasp. This is one of those brand new generation systems. This is insane. My life is finally getting on the right track for a proper isekai protagonist arc. The system suddenly blares an alarm. Warning. Combat skill generation failed. Please use this system correctly. Il is instantly speechless. I literally followed the instructions. Why is it still not working? Rachel pipes up beside him. It probably can't detect someone who uses demonic energy to game the system. That's a you problem. Il's rage ignites. He smacks Rachel and sends her flying. I'm already furious, and you're just going to sit there and crack jokes? If the hero shop isn't going to work, I'll find someone else to help. So at Lodrin's training ground, Il drops to his knees with a thud. Master, please help me, Lodrin says in a low, steady voice. You mean you want to develop your own personal combat skill? Il nods eagerly. Yes, I really need this. Lodrin nods in agreement. Fine, I'll give you a hand. It just so happens that I'm going to train you today. He turns and starts walking. Come on, let's train. And so begins day after day of training. More training, and even more training, until finally Il is so exhausted he can barely move. But at last, he completes his very own personalized combat skill. The system chimes. Ding! Congratulations on completing a hero quest. Il's class quasi-hero is now at level 461. Il shouts with excitement, my very own combat skill is finally born. Lodrin Steel Martial Arts Variation Grand Noble. The day of the selection tournament arrives. The host Jacker takes the stage to lay out the rules. This selection tournament consists of 3 separate mini-competitions. These events will be conducted in a completely different style from conventional commander tier tactical battles. He begins counting down, 1 hour from now. The highly anticipated first competition is about to begin, and the name of that competition is the Killing Race. At this moment, a figure approaches Il. It's Pak Hyun-ae. She opens with, I've been watching you. You're a human, aren't you? You look like an ordinary hero on the surface, but I can sense a subtle trace of demonic energy inside you. Il immediately breaks out in a cold sweat. Lodrin rushes over just then. Excuse me, could I ask you to step aside for a moment, Commander Pak Hyun-ae? There's an order I need to pass on to the cooking squad leader in private. Pak Hyun-ae gives a puzzled look, a private order for this guy, but she reads the room and steps away. Pak Hyun-ae thinks to herself, they didn't consume the human. They actually let him work in the army. I didn't expect coming here to yield something far more interesting than I'd imagined. Meanwhile, Lodrin lowers his voice to warn Il. Pak Hyun-ae is the commander of the 4th Legion. Like you, she was once a hero. Even though she's here under the Demon King's orders to observe the tournament, it's best to keep your distance. Il nods in understanding. Got it. But what was the order you just mentioned? Lodrin says, Lord Hermes wants you to make it into the top 8 of this tournament no matter what. Otherwise, she'll hand you over to the 2nd Legion's Research Institute as a rare specimen. 2 hours later, the competition officially begins. Roigel starts explaining the rules. The first event is a simple race. There are no restrictions whatsoever. Even if you accidentally kill a competitor along the way, there are no consequences. The goat demon Hogat laughs coldly. You heard that? Even if you accidentally kill someone, you won't be held responsible. When the race begins, the goblins immediately break into a sprint. Il also takes off at full speed, moving so fast he leaves the other demons in the dust. Just then, a flying demon calls out mockingly, Look at you idiots who can't even fly! The flying demon then activates a skill. A burst of energy projectiles shoots straight toward Il. Il shouts, Rachel, barrier, activate defense, block that attack. Hogat suddenly materializes and begins charging up. I can't believe you've actually stayed alive until now. Then die already. And with that, its energy-charged fist swings at Il, only to be blocked by Rachel. In an instant, Hogat brings out its trump card, condensing a massive ball of energy. Then it scatters the energy ball outward. Countless tiny orbs of light rain down on Il from above, and he deflects them with ease. Il thinks to himself, spreading it out makes each individual hit weaker. That thing is such an idiot. But then Hogat suddenly shouts, It's a human! The human attacked us! Il seethes with fury. He actually has the nerve to frame me. Sure enough, the goblins come swarming in, threatening to kill Il. Hogat immediately bolts toward the front. Anyone who runs slow is worthless. Il curses at the retreating Hogat with rage. You filthy goat. When I catch you, you're dead. Il quickly turns to Rachel. How many people are still ahead of us? Rachel says, 76 people have already crossed the finish line. Only 24 spots left. Just then, a goblin charges into Il and almost knocks him down. Damn it, at this rate, I'm going to be eliminated. There's no choice. I have to activate Grand Noble. The next second, Il decks the goblin with a single punch. He activates Grand Noble Type 1, Grim Step. In a flash, Il's silhouette blurs as he weaves through every attack, and then he bursts forward to the front. His speed is so extraordinary that the goblins can't even track his movements. Roigel announces the standings. A total of 95 participants have arrived. Only 5 spots remain. Il grits his teeth and presses harder, thinking, I have to claim one of those spots. Very soon, Il spots that wretched goat demon. Il accelerates and taunts, caught you now, didn't I? Then he activates his combat skill, Reladrin Steel Martial Arts Type 3 Savage Rush. Il drives forward and throws his punch. Hogat is sent flying straight into the wall at the finish line. Roigel announces at the top of his voice, 99th, Hogat, and the 100th participant to cross the finish line, Il. Il breathes a sigh of relief. I actually pulled it off. Hogat, smashed into the wall, explodes with rage and screams for Il's blood. Roigel quickly steps forward and kicks him aside. The race is over. No private fights on the competition grounds. That night, in the dense forest, Pakyon A and Hermes appear quietly. Hermes gazes at the shadow ahead and chuckles softly. Long time no see, Montan. A towering figure steps forward. Montan responds respectfully, It has been 97 years, 3 months and 11 days, Lady Hermes. What would you have me do? Montan confirms the mission details, so all I need to do is steal the flags from every competitor? Hermes says, That's right, but don't take all of them. If someone shows real promise, let them keep theirs. Pakiana teases, letting people off easy. Don't tell me you're going soft. Hermes says, Soft? 4th Legion Commander, do you ever wonder why demons keep losing to humans? Without waiting for Pakiana to answer, she gives the answer herself, because our way of fighting is completely inflexible. Demons, no matter what the situation, want to solve everything through brute force, but humans are different. When a fight isn't in their favor, they don't meet it head-on. They devise cunning strategies and find ways to close the power gap. That is exactly why the Demon King's army keeps losing to humans who are far weaker than us. Hermes gives Pak Hyun a playful jab, 4th Legion Commander. You really should read more books. The rules for the second round are quickly announced. Random teams of 4 are formed, and after 48 hours, the top 10 teams with the most flags advance. The team assignments are revealed. Team 9 consists of Hogat, Ichiguli, Pedishan, and Il. Hogat reads the roster and lets out a gloating laugh. Rotten human, your luck just ran out. The very instant he finishes gloating, a sharp clang of metal rings out. The massive and imposing Montan appears in response, heading straight for Team 9 to claim their flag. Hogat sizes Montan up. What are you, some kind of golden goblin? Il urgently tries to stop him, don't charge in, but Hogat ignores the warning and rushes straight at Montan. His teammates surge forward as well, determined to take Montan's flag. The next second, Montan launches his attack, and the teammates are sent flying through the air, completely helpless. Montan successfully seizes Team 9's flag. With only 1 minute left in the competition, Il says, Everyone, move on my signal. Il calls out the signal, Goat Magic Attack. Hogat immediately charges up an energy ball and hurls it at Montan, aiming to restrict his movement. Il shouts immediately after, Ishiguli, your turn. Ishiguli, in eagle form, immediately dives toward Montan. Ishiguli thrusts forward with a razor-sharp beak. Montan smirks. A pincer attack? This is actually the first time he's seen a team think tactically. The next second, Montan deflects Ichiguli's strike with ease and grabs Ichiguli by the throat with one hand, leaving Ichiguli completely immobilized. Montan says dismissively, your attacks are far too slow, and the demonic energy in all of you is laughably thin. At that very moment, Il spots the opening and charges in with a shout. Right now, Centipede! The centipede bursts up from beneath Montan's feet and coils around his legs. Il activates Grand Noble Type 1, Grim Step, and races toward Montan at full speed, going for the flag, just as he's about to grab it. Montan snatches Il's face with one hand, and simultaneously pins the centipede down underfoot, pressing it into the ground. Montan asks with genuine curiosity, You used a power I've never seen before. What was that purple light just now? Il glances at the countdown, his anxiety surging. Damn it, we're almost out of time. There's no other option. His eyes fill with resolve. You want to know? Then take this. Il activates Mana Burst. The shockwave slams into Montan. Montan takes the hit and releases his grip. In the final second, Il collapses to the ground, finally breaking free from Montan's hold. He suddenly calls out, Hey, look behind you. It turns out Hogat had used the chaos to slip around behind Montan and steal the flag off his body. Il bursts out laughing. Everything went according to plan. Il smirks, running into you is a real pain, and with that, he gives Montan the middle finger. Afterward, Montan reports back to Hermes the human actually mixed demonic energy and mana together. He has never seen that before. He gives an objective assessment. Il has talent, adapts on the fly, has real courage, and never acts recklessly. Hermes takes this in. We need a fresh wind. This human might just be the one. On the other side of things, inside the Holy Empire, the Pope receives word of Geffin's failure and heaves a sigh. His subordinate Aelin asks how they should handle the saint going forward. The Pope says coldly, no matter how much the people revere her, she's still just a princess from a minor kingdom. He issues the order, Abelson is no longer a candidate for the next Saint Tess. Issue a public announcement. Immediately, declare to everyone that she is a heretic who has colluded with the Demon King's army. The Pope then asks, what new nonsense has the glutton been up to? Aelin replies, she's revamped the unit's command structure and is currently holding a competition to select new officers. The Pope flips through the documents. Is there any way to disrupt this plan? Aelin responds, I sought assistance from the Demon King, but was refused. He has no interest in deepening his hostility toward the glutton. The Pope suggests, deploying our legendary warrior Lord Chinli might be enough to match the glutton. Aelin says with concern, but the defector, Pak Hyun-A, is currently in Black Castle. Hyun-A is also a legendary class warrior. Dealing with both of them at once would be extremely difficult. The Pope muses aloud upon hearing this. The defector is in Black Castle right now. Could the Demon King be considering an alliance with the glutton? Aelin suggests, perhaps we should call off this operation. The Pope cuts him off. Aelin, have you forgotten how our order in the Empire divided the continent and built it into the great power it is today? It was through the necessary evil of the demon race. Because evil exists, the good that stands against it shines all the brighter. That radiance becomes the faith of the common people, and faith becomes national power. That is why we have always kept the Demon King close and fabricated a state of perpetual war. Aelin suddenly remembers something. Our new spy has reported that the venue for the next competition has changed. The event will take place in Inaimosit, the forest of magic beasts. It's some distance from Black Castle. It seems even the heavens are on our side. So the Pope immediately gives the order, then gather the heroes, and use this opportunity to put them to the test. Meanwhile, Il is checking his hero panel. He is pleasantly surprised to discover he now has 5 skills. His command rank has also gone up. Now at sea, Rachel teases him, you're really walking the path of a demon army officer now, aren't you? Il asks, is there any item that can instantly double my stats? Pak Hyun-A suddenly appears out of nowhere. At your level, there is absolutely no chance you'd come across something like that. Stop dreaming. Il immediately jumps back several feet in shock. The 4th Legion commander? What are you doing here? Pak Hyun furrows her brow. You're so loud. Tell me honestly, how many hero points do you have? Il answers 300. Shop level is intermediate. Pak Hyun snorts, you're completely useless. Il asks out of curiosity, if it were you, what would you buy from the shop at this level? Pak Hyun raises an eyebrow, trying to leech knowledge off me. I'll help you, but you have to answer every question I ask. Il immediately nods. Yes. Pak Hyun offers her advice. You already have a combat skill, so upgrade your shop level and buy the subspace. Il searches the shop and says, deflated subspace doesn't appear until the next shop upgrade? Pak Hyun plants her hands on her hips. Now it's my turn to ask questions. First, you're a hero, aren't you? Il nods. Somehow I ended up becoming one. Second, why are you in the Demon King's army? Il sweats nervously. I kind of stumbled my way in. Third, how are you able to use both demonic energy and mana at the same time? Il says, it just sort of happened. Pak Hyun says, so you somehow became a hero, stumbled into the Demon King's army, and just happened to figure out how to mix demonic energy and mana. Il keeps nodding. That's right. Pak Hyun says, you need to be taught a lesson. And without another word, she sends him flying with a kick. Shortly after, Pak Hyun sits on top of Il and asks, do you want to join the 4th Legion? I'll train you personally. Il refuses without hesitation, no. Pak Hyun immediately adds 50 more kilograms of rocks and asks, then why are you staying here? What exactly are you after? Il struggles to get the words out. For starters, Lord Hermes would probably kill me if I tried to leave. Pak Hyun presses further, and your next goal? Il answers seriously, marry the rich blonde girl and be a great dad to 5 kids. Pak Hyun is thoroughly unimpressed. Fine. Suit yourself. Hermes isn't going to let you go anywhere anyway. After Pak Hyun leaves, Il mutters to himself, besides, I think I'm starting to actually like it here. On the day of the 3rd round, Il gets everything ready, then says his goodbye to Popo. Be good and watch the house. I'm going to win first place. Rachel confirms the itinerary, first to the arena, then we take the teleportation array to Inamosit. Il nods, let's go. To the land of magic beasts. Inamosit. In the land of magic beasts, Il is having an absolute blast, taking down creature after creature. Just then, the rules for the third round are announced. The competition ends when 10 of the 24 participants have been eliminated, and floating above Il's head is none other than a tracking orb. This orb reveals the location of all participants every hour, functioning somewhat like GPS. Rachel marvels at it. The demon army's magical capabilities are genuinely remarkable. To cast a spell this complex is no small feat. Il makes up his mind. He needs to take these flowers and get out of here first, or the enemies will catch up. But the very next second, he is ambushed. A magic beast roars, "Human, I finally found you. We're settling this once and for all." And the beast is none other than Hogat. Meanwhile, on the other side of Inamasit, near the spatial teleportation gate, Roygal lies sprawled in a tree, grumbling, "What a pain. They always stick me with guard duty like this." A goblin below tries to reason with him. "Please don't say that. This is the only teleportation gate connected to the castle. If it goes down, we're in serious trouble." Roygal sighs, "I know, but who would ever come all the way out to this middle of nowhere place?" Then he senses something. Roygal sits upright in an instant, on full alert. There's a presence. Who's there? He thinks quietly. Is it a group of humans out hunting magic beasts? Roygal considers attacking without thinking will just give away our position. This place is vast. The odds of them finding us are extremely slim. He decides to hold off for now. Back on the other side, Hogat, despite having just been thoroughly beaten, is still as cocky as ever. "Human, tremble before me and beg for mercy." Il says flatly, "I'm going to take care of you first. You talk way too much." Hogat quickly prostrates himself. "If you kill me, I promise you'll regret it." Il raises an eyebrow, unimpressed. "Regret what exactly?" Hogat scrambles to come up with something. "I know something extremely important." Il's interest is piqued, oh. "And what would that be?" Hogat shouts, "The demon race has united to take you, the human, out first." Il laughs. "Then where is everyone else? Why are you here all by yourself?" Hogat is flustered and scrambling for an answer. The very next second, a mob of goblins comes charging in. "Lord Hogat, we found the human. Let's kill him." Inside the Black Castle training grounds, Hermes and Pakione monitor the competition through surveillance. Hermes chuckles lightly. "I really didn't expect everyone to be ganging up on Il." Pakione rolls her eyes, "Stop gloating." The communication orb suddenly crackles to life, and Roygal's panicked voice bursts through. "Lady Hermes, the humans are trying to shut down the teleportation gate. We're in critical danger." The next instant, the communication orb is sliced apart. The surveillance feed immediately goes dark. Hermes calls out in a low, serious tone, "Lodrin." Lodrin responds instantly, "Understood. I'm heading there right now." Hermes analyzes the situation grimly. "These humans came prepared. Our intelligence has definitely been compromised. Who leaked the information?" Meanwhile, in the forest, Il is crouched in the tall grass, fuming. "How can they all just gang up on me like this? This is supposed to be a competition." Rachel whispers softly, "Shh, don't let them find you." Il quickly ducks down and holds his breath, not daring to make a sound. A group of goblins comes sweeping through, and upon finding nothing, they shuffle off in disappointment. Il exhales in relief. That was way too close. He slumps down limply. That was absolutely nerve-wracking. "How long am I supposed to hold out like this?" Rachel suggests, "What if you started a magic beast brawl right here? Anything useful in the hero shop?" Il opens the shop, here's hoping there's something to get me out of this mess. His eyes suddenly light up. "Oh, this item looks promising. It might actually come in handy." Just then, a figure in black robes approaches and speaks. "Are you the hero everyone's been talking about?" The figure removes their hood, and the large group behind them follows suit. Il gets a clear look at their faces, and freezes. "There are humans here? Something tells me this is not going to end well." The leader of the black-robed figures introduces himself. "I am Hero Andrew Ta Ilor." The system suddenly blares an alarm. "Quest triggered. You've encountered a hero team. Survive by any means necessary." Il immediately drops to his knees. "Senior, I'm Il, a rookie hero. What brings you all the way out to such a remote place?" Andrew responds coldly, "Hunting demons." Il exclaims, "That's so cool. Wiping out the demon race. Justice has arrived." Il stands up and gives a bow. "Then I'll go take care of some demons too." And with that he turns to leave. Andrew immediately draws his sword upon seeing this, and swings it toward Il, saying, "There's also the matter of executing human traitors." Just at that moment, Hogat arrives with a mob of goblins. "Found the human." Hogat laughs obnoxiously. "Human? Did you really think you could escape the great Lord Hogat?" Il's mind races and he shouts at the top of his lungs, "All participants, join me in singing the 3rd Legion anthem of the demon army." Hogat and the goblins stare at Il with utterly blank expressions. Andrew is completely baffled, thinking, has this guy lost his mind? Il takes the lead and belts it out first. "We are the mighty demon army." Hogat and the goblins instinctively join in, crush the humans. Devour the humans. Il seizes the moment to rile them up. That's the spirit. As proud warriors of the demon army, it is our duty to slay the enemy for the demon king. Charge. The next second, Hogat immediately leads the goblins in a charge. That's right, go crush those humans. Il puts on a theatrical display of emotion, comrades. I will forever honor your noble sacrifice. And the moment he finishes, he turns and runs. As he sprints away, Il worries to himself, they won't hold out for long. I'll be caught up to in no time. What do I do now? Suddenly something grabs Il by the back of his collar. It's Roigal, his expression grave. The human assault has brought down the teleportation gate connecting to the castle. Il urgently asks, what about the gate guard unit? Roigal sighs, likely wiped out entirely. I barely made it out alive myself. Il is stunned. Wiped out, there were only about 40 of them at most. Roigal says every single one of them was at platoon commander level or above, 3 at company level, and 1 at division level. Il panics. Then how are we supposed to survive? Roigal says plainly, there's no way around it. We're going to die here. And you've had a tracking spell put on you, haven't you? Il scrambles in fear. Can't it be removed? Don't you know a little magic? Roigal refuses. It would take far too long. I don't have time to waste on that. The tracking orb suddenly sounds an alarm. Danger! A masterclass magic beast has appeared nearby. Il's eyes light up at the sight of it. With this creature around, there might actually be a way out. Il turns to Roigal and says, I have a brilliant plan. On the other side, Andrew finishes off the demons and gives a cold command. The traitor hero has fled. Everyone move out. The hero team moves swiftly. Andrew senses the presence ahead. The traitor is not far to the east. At that moment, the most powerful predator of Anamasit, the giant man-eating plant, rises up before them. Andrew calculates quietly. It's not unbeatable, but the casualties would be severe. Very soon, the giant man-eating plant begins to stir restlessly. Andrew immediately gives the order, you lot, keep the beast's attention on you. The traitor on top of the plant is mine to deal with personally. It turns out Il and Roigal have climbed up onto the man-eating plant and won its favor using pheromone perfume, convincing it to help them. The two are standing on top of the plant in female disguise, taunting Andrew. Andrew stares at the scene in front of him, absolutely speechless. The next second, he leaps toward the man-eating plant. Il shouts, he's coming! Watch out! Roigal says calmly, I know, and blocks Andrew's attack. In no time, Andrew unleashes his signature technique, Advanced Hero Swordsmanship Type 1 Hero's Path. He swings his blade in a fierce and relentless assault. The other heroes rush in at the sight of this, all piling onto Roigal with their attacks. Il reacts instantly, kicking the charging heroes away one after another. He shouts to Roigal, I'll handle the small fry according to plan. Please hold on just a little longer. Andrew sneers, so your battle plan was just to buy time all along? Roigal says nothing extra, just lets out a cold grunt and keeps deflecting the attacks. Andrew roars with fury, how long are you going to keep hiding, you shameless coward? Roigal dodges and parries while quietly marveling, so this is human strategy, despicable as it is. But it should buy us a considerable amount of time. On the other side, the heroes Il kicked away slowly clamber back to their feet. They begin muttering to themselves, kill the traitor, those are the orders. And then they charge at Il screaming. The heroes slash relentlessly, their sword strikes razor sharp and carrying a bone-chilling killing intent. Il thinks with alarm, these guys are strong. If that blade catches me, I'll be split clean in two. But their movements are so rigid and mechanical, completely inflexible. There's no psychological warfare at play whatsoever. They just swing like machines. Il makes the first move, driving his foot into the hero's ankle and throwing off his rhythm. He follows up immediately by lifting his leg and slamming it into the hero's neck, restricting his movement. When the hero staggers forward with his head down, Il kicks him hard in the back of the skull. After they all go down, Il remarks, that actually worked? Are these guys really human? Il's face suddenly goes pale. Maintaining multi-form for too long has nearly drained him of all his stamina. The system chimes, demonic energy technique, upgraded from C rank to B rank. A pair of horns suddenly sprouts from the top of Il's head. His body begins to change as it fuses further with the demonic energy. Meanwhile, Roigal and Andrew are still locked in fierce combat. Roigal is gradually losing his footing, thinking to himself, I'm running out of steam. And this beast won't last much longer either. Andrew taunts, you're really nothing special, are you? Your little escape plan ends here. We heroes grow stronger with every demon and magic beast we kill. I'm already at level 983. Once I take down this meat shield beast, I'll hit level 1000. And with that, Andrew lets out a battle cry and charges forward, clashing with Roigal in a fierce mid-air exchange. The two grapple and land on top of the man-eating plant, and the vegetation beneath their feet shudders violently. Roigal is steadily losing ground, forced to keep moving across the plant to dodge. Andrew laughs wildly. The moment I level up, I can finish off a small fry like you in the blink of an eye. And with that, he raises his sword and aims it at the man-eating plant, ready to harvest the massive experience points. Roigal lets out a cold snort, then activates his skill, Living Restraint, Multi-Bind, Chains explode outward in an instant. Andrew, caught in the chains, roars, "A binding skill? What do you think this cheap trick is going to accomplish?" Roigel's voice takes on a mysterious tone. "We have a hero who can level up on our side too." And with that, Il appears from behind Andrew, radiating a sharp and deadly aura. Andrew says in horror, "What happened to you? Are you some kind of demon?" Without a word, Il drives his fist straight into the man-eating plant's core. The system goes wild with level up notifications. Il's level shoots up rapidly. The giant man-eating plant crashes to the ground, its enormous body slowly going still. Il looks over at Roigel and says, "You've worked hard." Then he immediately turns to provoke Andrew. "Get ready, because next I'm coming for you." Andrew seethes with rage. "You really think you can beat me?" He unleashes his trump card, Advanced Hero Swordsmanship, Type 3, Execute. Il raises his hand and blocks the attack cleanly. Il suddenly surges with force and knocks Andrew back several meters on the spot. Andrew refuses to give up, roaring as he launches into Advanced Hero Swordsmanship, Type 7. Il sidesteps and sends him flying with a single kick. With a thunderous boom, Andrew is kicked so hard he crashes into a solid wall. He asks in disbelief, "What are you exactly? Are you actually a demon?" Il walks toward him slowly. "You know something? I've always fought people stronger than me." Then he drives his foot into Andrew again, sending him into an agonized cry. Then Andrew is grabbed by the face and slammed down hard into the ground. The pain nearly knocks him unconscious. Il holds him by the face and continues, "So I've come to realize something." He swings his fist, pouring every ounce of fury into the blow, saying, "Levels are nothing but meaningless numbers." After the fight, Il can no longer hold himself up. Racked with pain, he collapses to the ground. Roigel walks over and pours a red liquid into his mouth for him to drink. Il sits up and says, "What on earth is this awful medicine?" Roigel explains, "Your pet sprite brought it." Rachel comes flying over in tears, clutching a medicine bottle. "This is a high-grade healing potion. Drink another bottle." Il asks in confusion, "Where did all these high-grade potions come from?" Rachel hugs the bottle and answers, "They dropped off the dead heroes." Il says, "So now that I've killed my own kind, not only am I not penalized, I actually get experience and loot. I'm starting to feel more and more like a villain." Roigel reassures him, "That's only by human standards. From where I stand, you're fine. Don't get hung up on what humans think. Right and wrong have never been absolute." Il is moved upon hearing this. "Is this your way of comforting me? I'm not used to it." Roigel gives him a light kick. "Shut up, get some rest, and stop talking nonsense. I already called for backup before communications went down. Someone will be here soon." Il smiles. "You're the smart one, as always." Before long, Lodrin comes rushing in and quickly constructs a makeshift teleportation gate, sending everyone back through it. Very soon, the group returns to the 3rd Legion of the Demon Army. Il stares at the scene of devastation before him, struck speechless. His voice trembles with anger. How did our home end up like this? The next second, Hermes appears. Pa Kyone demands furiously, "Are you done being angry yet? You know the truth perfectly well. I am not a traitor." Hermes begins charging up with a cold smirk. "Whether you're a traitor or not is beside the point. The point is, I'm furious right now, and anyone who stands on the Demon King's side is getting no mercy from me." Pak Hyun charges up in kind. Two massive forces collide. A figure suddenly appears and throws itself between them, absorbing both attacks by sheer force. The newcomer says in a deep, commanding voice, "Lord Hermes, the Demon King has issued an order. Please stand down immediately and do not act rashly." This person is the 5th Legion commander and chief of the Minotaur clan, Osgaze. Hermes chuckles lightly. My, what brought you all the way out here? How could the Demon King have sent you in advance?" Then it dawns on her. That woman was a decoy. The Demon King had someone else keeping watch on me all along. Osgaze says without expression, "You are reading too much into things, Lord Hermes." Hermes gives a self-deprecating laugh. "Perhaps I am. I was out of line. I shouldn't doubt the Demon King. I got locked away for 100 years because I saved Lotark, and you think that was all my fault too, don't you?" And with those words, a powerful surge of energy erupts around Hermes once more. Lodrin rushes over urgently. "Lord Hermes! Both of you, please stop this at once!" Osgaze turns to look at the newcomer and exclaims in surprise, "Lodrin, what are you doing here?" Hermes lets out a cold snort. "Fine, that's enough for now. You should be grateful to your nephew, Osgaze." Afterward, Il is resting at home receiving treatment. He wonders in confusion, what was all that fighting even about? Even the demon army is a complete mess. Abelson says, "At the very least you've made it to platoon commander. Are you really planning to stay in the demon army?" Il says, "I think so. This whole ordeal has made me an enemy of Galen, and I have no way to go back to the human world anymore. I've grown horns and I can use demonic energy. But come to think of it, the heroes I ran into this time, aside from the strongest one, the rest of them seemed a bit off. Their eyes weren't focused, and their expressions didn't change even as they died." Il looks at Abelson. do you know something about what's going on? Abelson shakes her head. I honestly don't know either. After all, I was driven out. The Holy Empire has many powerful heroes. As for how the Holy Empire produces so many heroes who grow so powerful so quickly that the outside world has no way of knowing. Laudren suddenly appears. Sorry to interrupt. Lord Hermes is asking the two of you to come by. In Hermes' office, she says, today's agenda is an errand. I need to reinstall a spatial interference mana field. Il looks completely lost. Spatial interference? What on earth is that? Hermes says, installing it prevents assassins from teleporting directly into your room. But only the Second Legion can produce this kind of device. Il and Abelson both go wide-eyed in alarm. Don't tell me you're sending us on a field assignment? Hermes says, that's right. I'm assigning the two of you. One is my courier and the other is attending physician. I protect you from humans, so you can earn your keep for a change. That said, I will assign you a capable guide to accompany you. In the Demon King's council chamber, the Demon King says, Lotark isn't attending today either. Osgaze says, Lotark has never attended an emergency meeting. Dorichigus clicks his tongue. I don't care if he shows up or not, he is just annoying. Pacchiona snorts coldly. He'd only talk nonsense if he were here anyway. Let's just begin. And so the Demon King speaks in a grave tone. The meeting is called to order. The room falls immediately silent. His expression is stern. Today's matter concerns 3rd Legion Commander Hermes. Hermes organized a large-scale event without filing a report. The humans exploited the lapse in security to launch an invasion, resulting in the deaths of a significant number of soldiers and the loss of many of our top-tier talents and combat strength. Andrew steps forward to deliver the report. 97 confirmed dead, over 100 critically wounded. The Demon King continues after hearing this. Furthermore, Hermes launched an unprovoked attack on the 4th Legion commander. This is a violation of the rule requiring mutual authorization before Legion commanders may engage in combat with one another. This meeting will determine the appropriate punishment for Hermes. If anyone has an objection, speak now. Hermes raises her hand. I have an objection. The attack happened because someone leaked our intelligence to the humans. As for attacking Pacchione, that was because I mistakenly believed she was a traitor. The Demon King's gaze turns icy. Are you challenging me right now, Hermes? Hermes says evenly, I only wish to identify the traitor first. The Demon King's fury erupts. Hermes, you have some nerve. Out in the corridor just outside the Demon King's council chamber, Osgaze says, when both of them get this worked up, there's simply no way to have a productive meeting. Pacchione asks, is there really no hope of Hermes and the Demon King ever reconciling? Tugre shakes his head, probably not. Inside the 2nd Legion's magic engineering tower, Il and the group arrive, so this is the legendary magic engineering tower. At that moment, the guard mouse steps forward. Are you the new visitors? The mouse plants his paws on his hips and bellows. State your names. You won't set one foot inside the magic engineering tower otherwise. Roigel hands over the pass. I am Roigel from the 3rd Legion headquarters. The mouse examines the pass. 3rd Legion, is it? Right this way. I'll take you to meet the Legion commander. 2nd Legion, Lotark's office. Lotark finishes reading the letter and falls deep in thought, murmuring to himself, a human using demonic energy. Is his body gradually transforming into that of a demon? Il and the others walk into the office just then. Lotark spots Il and freezes in shock. He immediately jumps off his desk and runs toward Il. He grabs Il's hand, thinking to himself, I can't see it, but I can feel it. The demonic energy in this human is extraordinarily dense. He immediately begins probing intensely. Il lets out a pained grunt. The grip is unbearable. His legs give out beneath him. Lotark nods with satisfaction. Excellent. You are progressing exceptionally well. But do you know something? You are about to die. If things continue as they are, you will not survive beyond 3 months. Your body is becoming more and more like that of a demon, and it has reached a dangerous point. Up until now, only harmless parts of you have been affected, and that was purely a matter of luck. Before long, the demonic energy will begin corroding your internal organs. Your kidneys and liver will start to fail. And if your heart or lungs are corroded, you will suffocate and die outright. Il says in horror, you're lying, aren't you? I'm perfectly fine right now. Lotark produces a sheet of paper directly. This is the demonic covenant. Neither party is permitted to break the oath. The covenant states that Lotark will treat Il, but in return, Il must cooperate with his experiments and is not permitted to object. Il is stunned. This is basically a contract of servitude. Abelson also shouts in outrage, what kind of contract is this? I'll treat you myself, Il. Do not sign that. Lotark mocks her. How arrogant. Holy power and demonic energy are in conflict. It works for now, but not forever. The 3 months Il has left are already the result of your holy power doing what it can. Il, make your decision quickly. In the 2nd Legion's male dormitory, Rachel is crying, Lord Hero is on borrowed time, and now they want him to sign a contract of servitude too. Il is equally troubled and downcast. Is there any way to accept treatment but refuse the experiments? Roigel suggests, should we contact Lord Hermes and ask her to step in on your behalf? Hermes holds the 2nd highest seat in the demon army. She can keep Lotark in check. So Il and Roygal go back to Lotark to negotiate and bring out a communication crystal orb to contact Hermes through it. The orb activates and Hermes' voice comes through. "It's me. Lotark, how have you been?" Lotark replies hastily, "It's been a long time, Lord Hermes. What can I do for you?" Hermes says, "Nothing much. I simply need you to take care of a small matter for me. Add what I'm about to say to the covenant." Amendment to the covenant: Lotark must make every possible effort to treat Il and must not harm him. Furthermore, without consent, Lotark is not permitted to modify Il's body in any way. And lastly, before the contract expires, Lotark cannot stand by and watch Il die. Lotark explodes in shock and fury. "Why? I am a Legion commander. Why should I go this far for a human?" Hermes says, "Lotark, 350 years ago, when your own people cast you aside, who was it that took you in? 200 years ago in the positioning battle, who helped you secure that victory? And 100 years ago, who saved your life?" Hermes continues pressing, "And who was it that angered the Demon King by saving you and was locked away for 100 years as a consequence? Lotark, if you understand what I'm saying, then sign it." That night, Lotark is alone in his laboratory. He roars in anguish, "How dare they do this to me? I am a Legion commander." He screams at the top of his lungs, "Bring me that communication crystal ball, now." The next day, however, Lotark finds Il as if nothing happened and cuts straight to it. "Do you know why demonic energy is deforming your body?" Il says, "Because humans can't use demonic energy." Lotark shakes his head, "Wrong. Humans have absolutely no ability to control demonic energy. The moment an ordinary person has demonic energy injected into them, every part of their body explodes. What happened to you was a fluke. The demonic energy only took root in a small portion of your body. The physical changes are the demonic energy consolidating its own living environment." Il quickly asks, "Is there really no way to stop the changes from continuing?" Lotark says, "The changes cannot be stopped, but we can alter the direction they go. I intend to transplant body parts from demons or magic beasts onto you." Il's face fills with rejection. "If I refuse, am I just left to wait for death?" Lotark answers, "That's correct, but you don't need to worry too much. I will preserve your appearance and your organs." In the 2nd Legion's indoor training grounds, Lotark orders Il to demonstrate the Grand Noble skill. Il takes a deep breath and gets ready, then executes the skill. Lotark watches with wonder, making use of the conflicting mana energies to amplify power, a truly heaven-sent gift. Lotark then orders, "Next, activate multiform. Let me observe its effects." Il channels his power upon hearing this, and a pair of jet black horns instantly sprouts from his head. Lotark stares at the horns and thinks quietly to himself. These horns effectively protect his internal organs. Il is extraordinarily fortunate. Inside, Lotark is screaming, "I want so badly to study him. What a shame that Hermes is in the way." Lotark fantasizes, "If only I could mass-produce him as a chimera." Il asks with curiosity at this point, "Lord Lotark, what comes after multiform?" Lotark snaps back to reality. "That's all for today. Starting tomorrow, I will begin restoring your body and abilities." After that, Il begins an unending cycle of training. Day after day of grueling, high-intensity sessions push his body to the breaking point, and even after training ends, he is subjected to repeated experiments as a test subject. Il's mind and body are both pushed to the very edge. Il collapses on the experiment table and wails, "I'm dying!" Lotark cuts him off. "Stop being dramatic. Your body and combat skills are significantly more stable. You can go rest now." After Il drags his exhausted body out of the room, Lotark takes out the communication crystal orb. He speaks into it. "It's about time you gave me an answer on the proposal I made last time." A voice comes through from the other end. "Your proposal? You mean a joint attack on the 3rd Legion?" Pak Hyun-A says with confusion, "I don't understand. Isn't Hermes your benefactor?" Lotark's tone turns cold. "She is no longer my benefactor. We parted ways long ago. Stop wasting time. Just tell me whether you're joining the alliance or not." Pak Hyun-A says, puzzled, "Even if you two don't get along, why not just go your separate ways? Why do you need to attack her?" Lotark smirks coldly. "That was the arrangement before, but now Hermes has something valuable in her possession. No matter how strong Hermes is, she can't stand up against 2 Legion commanders. Work with me." Pak Hyun-A thinks it over for a moment and agrees. "When you've got a plan ready, let me know." Lotark says with satisfaction, "Good. I'll be in touch in a few days to discuss the details." And every word of this conversation is overheard by Rachel, who has been hiding behind a cookie tin the whole time. She rushes back to the dormitory and relays everything she heard to Hermes. Hermes raises an eyebrow. "I already suspected as much. Is that all you came to tell me?" Il says, "Not just that. I'm caught between 2 Legion commanders, and sooner or later, it's going to get me killed. What do you think I should actually do right now?" Hermes thinks for a moment. "I have an idea, one that's guaranteed to give Lotark a real headache." Il asks in confusion, "So what exactly am I supposed to do?" Hermes says calmly, "Hurt yourself." Il. She watches his stunned expression and says, "I can see you're shocked, but I mean it." Il looks thoroughly baffled. "What does any of this have to do with me hurting myself?" Hermes explains, "Lotark has a prized reserve of concentrated demonic essence. Drink it and absorb it into your body." Il panics. "If I drink that, won't it kill me?" Hermes reassures him, "Don't worry. Lotark is an exceptional physician, and even I can vouch for that. Because of the covenant, he is not allowed to stand by and watch you die. So Il and Roygel quietly slip into Lotark's research lab. Their eyes are fixed on the mysterious containers lined up on the table. Il mutters under his breath, "This is it? The demonic essence that Lord Hermes mentioned?" He picks up the most conspicuous bottle and says, "The most potent one has got to be this." Roygel quips, "If things go sideways, I'll make sure to collect your remains." Il steels himself, tips his head back, and downs the entire bottle of demonic essence in one go. The next second, the bottle slips from his hand and shatters against the floor with a sharp crack. Il begins coughing up blood, dizzy and disoriented. Roygel says calmly, "It's starting. This is highly concentrated essence from an ancient magic beast. It's going to be agonizing for a human." Il grits his teeth through the pain. "You could have at least warned me it was going to hurt this much." Il can no longer hold on. His consciousness begins to slip away. An unknown amount of time passes before Il slowly opens his eyes, his awareness gradually returning. He sits up and asks weakly, "Where am I now?" Rachel answers from beside him, the 2nd Legion commander's office. "That mouse worked around the clock for 4 straight days nursing you back to health." At this point, Hermes walks in and says lightly, "Long time no see, Il. Roygel told me you were doing better, so I came all this way to see for myself." Hermes pats him on the shoulder. "You actually do look remarkably well. You've gotten stronger." Hearing this, Il looks down at his hands and finds that his palm has turned black. He lets out a startled scream. "What happened to me?" Lotark explains, "The ancient demonic energy has found its home within your body. That magic beast had an indestructible body, and so its traits have now manifested in you." Hermes teases, "Oh, how envious. So you've been hiding something good from me this whole time." Lotark hears this, pulls out the covenant, and says, "The treatment is complete. Let's call the covenant void." Hermes agrees. After all, the contract was only valid until treatment was finished. Hermes raises a finger, and the covenant scroll is reduced to ash in an instant. Lotark stares at Hermes and says, "This is something you will come to deeply regret." Hermes raises an eyebrow and smiles lightly. "Is that so? Are you sure the one who ends up regretting it will be me? I look forward to seeing what you choose to do next, Lotark." After the group leaves, the 2nd Legion's stronghold is a flurry of activity as the mouse soldiers busily haul equipment. The head mouse gives the command at the top of his voice, "Everyone arm yourselves. Prepare for battle." Very soon, a mouse soldier comes running in to report, "Legion Commander, everything is ready." Lotark gives the order, "Then we march. Target, Black Castle. Retrieve the human test subject that Hermes has taken from us." Meanwhile, at Lodrin's private training grounds, Il is pressing on with his high-intensity training. He throws a powerful punch. Lodrin raises his hand and deflects it with ease. Il doesn't let up, striking again and again, his blows growing sharper and more intense. Then he draws a deep breath, gathers every ounce of power in his body, and begins building up a charge. Il lets out a battle cry and drives the charged fist hard into Lodrin. He is thrilled. That last punch felt like it actually landed on target. The next second, Lodrin's fist comes back and pins Il flat on the ground. Il lies there in pain. Everyone keeps saying, "I've gotten stronger, but I'm still no match for you." Lodrin smiles. "The rate at which you've grown is staggering, truly beyond imagination, but your body has grown faster than you've learned to command it. You'll adapt soon enough. Don't rush. One day you'll prove what you're capable of." Il grips his hand back with a grin. "Next time, I'll show you a side of me that'll actually impress you." Just then, a massive explosion erupts from somewhere in the training grounds. The wall behind Il is blasted open, leaving a gaping hole. A goblin triggers the alarm and shouts, "The Rat Clan is attacking! Everyone get ready!" The so-called Rat Clan is a type of demon that resembles mice, physically weak but remarkably quick-witted. And at this moment, these mice are hauling out cannons and bombarding the city walls without mercy. Pakiona watches the barrage and remarks, "The firepower is extraordinary. No wonder you have so much confidence." Very soon, a mouse soldier runs over to report to Lotark, "Legion Commander, the city walls have come down." Lotark immediately gives the order, "Send the chimeras in first to lead the assault. Kitawu, go bring back that human test subject. I will take on the 3rd Legion Commander together with the 4th Legion Commander." On the other side, Il and Lodrin sprint at full speed to find Hermes and report the situation. Il asks anxiously, "Lord Lodrin, what do we do from here?" Lodrin says in a low, steady voice, "I'm going to rally our scattered forces first. Il, you deal with Division Commander Kitawu." Il goes still. "Division Commander Kitawu?" Lodrin explains. "He is Lotark's most trusted and valued right-hand general. By all rights, I should be the one handling him. But you've grown strong, and I believe in you." Il immediately accepts the task. Lodrin suddenly remembers one more thing. "You can ask the Saint Tess for help." Il immediately pulls Abelson along to act with him. He says to her, "As long as you radiate holy power, you're a walking weapon. Now let's go find that Kitawu." Just then, a loud laugh rings out as Kitawu makes his entrance. "Found you, human!" Il looks at its combat power reading and gasps. 162,730. Stronger than I imagined. He thinks to himself, "Can I actually win this?" Kitawu gives the command, "Go, tear this human apart." A pack of vicious attack dogs snarls and charges at Il and Abelson. Kitawu laughs at the sight. "Human, watch me end you in one move." He unleashes his technique, fully expecting Il to be blown to pieces. He then lets out a triumphant laugh. "Already done? That was fast. So fragile." The next second, Il says with a smirk, "Those punches are limp. I barely felt a thing." Il activates his ability, Multiform second stage full bloom. His power surges as he grabs a dog and hurls it away. Then Il seizes the opportunity and charges forward. His fist and Kitawu's palm crash together in a brutal collision. Kitawu cries out in pain, "Everyone get over here and support me!" Abelson cries out, "Mr. Il, all the chimeras are coming this way!" She begins channeling her divine power. "I'll do my best to hold them back." Very soon, Abelson radiates a brilliant and blinding holy light. Abelson says, "I've released all of my holy power." Il borrows the force and uses it to his advantage, successfully sending Kitawu crashing back several meters. Kitawu is incredulous, his face filled with shock. How is this possible? A mere human with this much power? Il seizes the moment and charges in, grabbing the robotic figure Kitawu is controlling by the face. He says, "I guess I have your Legion commander to thank for this." And with that, he swings his fist and delivers a devastating blow. The robot is smashed to pieces in an instant. Il stands with his hands on his hips, a so-called division commander, and that's all you've got? Il starts showing off. "Have I actually gotten stronger?" Abelson runs over with concern. "Mr. Il, are you all right?" Il turns back and answers, "I'm fine." On the other side of the battlefield, Hermes stands facing off against both Lotark and Pak Hyun-a. Lotark glares with cold, menacing eyes. "Third Legion Commander, are you ready?" Hermes lets out a light laugh. "So you brought the 4th Legion Commander too? Lotark, you really will stoop to anything just to win." Lotark says without a care, "Call me despicable all you want. I'm taking you down today. I'm going to beat you here, and finally surpass you once and for all." Lotark then turns and urges, "Pak Hyun-a, you're ready, right? Let's deal with her together." But Pak Hyun-a just smiles and says, "Sorry, I'm suddenly feeling a bit hungry." Lotark stares in disbelief. "What are you talking about?" Pak Hyun-a waves her hand dismissively. "You two sort it out yourselves. I'm going home to make instant noodles." Before leaving, she points at Hermes and says, "One thing before I go, you owe me one. Consider all debts, old and new, settled." After Pak Hyun-a leaves, Hermes feigns distress. "Oh no, your backup just walked out on you." Lotark suddenly realizes, "Did you two plan this from the start?" Hermes freely admits it, "Exactly as you suspected. Pak Hyun-a's been on my side all along. Even knowing that, do you still want to keep fighting?" Lotark clenches his jaw, stays silent for a long moment, then says, "Doesn't matter. I'll show you just how much I've grown over these past 100 years." On the other side, Il spots Pak Hyun-a and shouts in shock, "Legion Commander Pak Hyun-a!" Pak Hyun-a raises an eyebrow. "I figured you'd be scared out of your mind, so I came to check on you." Il asks in confusion, "Shouldn't you be fighting Hermes right now?" Pak Hyun-a says, "Your Legion Commander told me to stay out of it, so here I am enjoying the show." Il presses further, "So who do you think is going to win?" Pak Hyun-a says, "Lotark came more prepared than I expected, but he still can't beat Hermes." On the other side of the battlefield, Lotark launches an all-out assault on Hermes, who just stands there without fighting back. Lotark snaps in fury, "Hermes, what are you doing? Get serious, I'm Lotark, 2nd Legion Commander, leader of the Rat Clan, fight me for real." Hermes smiles coolly, "Why bother? Anyway, I'm determined to win this battle." The moment the words leave her mouth, she raises her hand and effortlessly blocks Lotark's full force strike. Hermes says calmly, "Pak Hyun-a has abandoned you, and your century-old weapon is useless. Do you really want to keep going?" Lotark grits his teeth. "You're right about all of that, but I refuse to surrender." Then, throwing all caution aside, he channels every last drop of demonic energy within him. An enormous energy sphere takes shape. It surges toward Hermes, carrying the weight of total destruction. A violent collision erupts, unleashing a deafening, earth-shaking boom. Lotark gasps for breath. "You felt that power, didn't you?" Hermes stands completely unscathed. "That was actually a little dangerous. You've improved a lot. Now that you're done, it's my turn." Hermes strikes in an instant, launching a massive shockwave. Lotark's face is filled with sheer terror. Hermes' attack crashes down on Lotark like a violent storm. Lotark frantically tries to reach for his weapon switch, but his custom weapon is sent flying before he can even touch it. Lotark is blasted away by the shockwave, his body battered and broken, covered in wounds. He calls out Hermes' name in a faint, barely audible voice. Hermes asks, "What is it? Are you asking me to spare you?" Lotark chokes out the words, "To you. Am I still the same useless, pathetic Lotark?" It turns out that in his youth, Lotark had made a grand vow. He would grow just as powerful as Lord Hermes. He would become a demon powerful enough that no one would ever look down on him. Yet Hermes had once told him that Lotark was still too weak. She said that he wouldn't survive without her care. Hearing this, Hermes realizes her words had wounded him deeply. She sighs softly. "Time is merciless. It changes so many people and things. We started like lovers, always by each other's side, but feelings shift over time. Still, because of you, I was happy for a long while." She says gently, "Thank you, 2nd Legion Commander. Now get some rest." After the battle ends, Hermes tells everyone that this place is beyond repair. Il nods in agreement. "It's completely wrecked. No one can live here anymore." Lodron asks in confusion, "Then where are we supposed to go?" Hermes says, "Gardol City, in the 8th Division." She looks at Lodron and gives the order, "Write a letter and tell the 8th Division Commander to clear out the quarters immediately." On the way back, Lodron mutters to himself, "Why does it have to be the 8th Division? Gardol City is the front line closest to the human forces." Il grimaces, "That sounds dangerous. But it hasn't fallen yet, so the commander must be something." Lodron replies, "That's hard to say. Do you know where the Himolon Fortress is?" Il shakes his head, completely clueless. He's never even heard of the place. Lodron sighs and says, "The first time we met was at Himolon. The fortress was taken, and we were forced to pull our front line way back. The commander in charge at the time was Grat, 8th Division Commander. Il says in amazement, I can't believe he survived Lord Hermes' fury. Lodron says because when his forces were surrounded on all sides, he held the main base at Gardelli City. Il sums it up, so he's the type who holds the last line of defense no matter what. Lodron shakes his head, that's the thing. Nobody knows how he managed to hold it. Meanwhile, in Gardelli City, 8th Legion Commander Grat slams his fist on the table in a rage after reading Lodron's letter. He roars, they want me to hand over Gardelli City to serve as the 3rd Legion's headquarters? Has that old witch Hermes figured something out? If that's the case, there's only one option, rebellion. He reaches for his communication crystal orb. He speaks into the crystal orb. This is Grat, 8th Division Commander of the 3rd Legion Demon Army. A voice comes through from the other side, haven't heard from you since the squad leader selection. Now you must have something important. Grat says in a low, steady voice, I have an urgent proposal. One that benefits both sides. And shortly after, in the papal chamber, the Pope seethes with barely contained anger. Even Andrew failed? Don't tell me that was Il's doing again. Aelin nods. Yes, Il is growing at a rapid pace. The Pope's expression turns grim. This is a problem. Aelin suggests, perhaps we should deal with the Dracian conflict first. Il shouldn't be able to cause much trouble in the meantime. The Pope scoffs coldly. If you were an ordinary person, I'd agree with you. But Il is a hero, and a hero's potential is limitless. The Pope rebukes Aelin sharply. The reason you can say that is because you have no idea how terrifying a hero can be. We have to eliminate him before he has a chance to settle in this world. He presses further, any new intel from our spy? About Il? Aelin says the spy says they can help us take out Il, the Red Nightmare and the Glutton. The Pope asks with curiosity, and what's the plan? Does it involve Gardelli City? This is a compelling offer. Why didn't you report it sooner? Aelin says in exchange, Grat demands a tribute of 10,000 people, and a guarantee that we won't attack his territory for the next 5 years. And the 2nd Legion Commander position is open now, and he wants it. The Pope analyzes, his terms are unreasonable. Aelin frowns. Never mind the territory. Asking for 10,000 people is outrageous. But the Pope says with cold resolve, I accept his terms. This is a golden opportunity to eliminate all of our threats in one move. 10,000? He could ask for 1,000,000 and I'd still agree. He warns Aelin, no more failures this time. This is our last chance. Summon every legendary hero from every region and bring them into this battle. This is our final campaign against Il. A few days later in Gardelli City, Grat greets the group with a wide smile. Lord Hermes gave the order, so of course I'm handing over Gardelli City. There's just one small issue. Lodron asks, what issue? Grat says, the neighboring human forces have been making unusual moves lately. It looks like they're gearing up for a siege. Lodron asks in a serious tone, do you have a plan? Grat says, I'd like to send out strike teams to break through their lines before they can gather. So I'd like your help. We've been short on manpower lately. Lodron thinks for a moment, then nods in agreement. Understood. He follows up, can the people who came with me join my unit? Grat looks reluctant. That could be a problem. One look at them and you'd know they'd be a liability. Since we're short-handed anyway, I'll just assign them to wherever they're most useful. That night, in their quarters, Il lies in bed muttering to himself, what does it even mean to be a hero? I'm supposed to be a hero, and yet here I am going to war against humans. It's a lot to sit with. Rachel gently tries to comfort him from beside him. There's nothing you can do. That's just the situation right now. Il ventures a bold guess. Maybe heroes don't exist for humans, or for the sake of some absolute justice either. Abelson chimes in from nearby. It's said that heroes appear in response to the collective will of all living beings. Il's eyes light up, and he quickly asks, the collective will of all living beings, what does that mean? Abelson explains, according to ancient texts, heroes are born for the well-being of the absolute majority. Il stares in shock. Does that majority include life beyond humans? Abelson nods. It's possible. Looked at from a broader perspective, human happiness doesn't equal the happiness of all living beings. Il has a sudden realization. So the absolute majority means all living creatures. Abelson smiles lightly, most likely, which is exactly why the world needs a mutant hero like you. The following morning, Il, Abelson, and Boppo are all assigned to the rear to guard the supply facilities. Il sighs, I went along with what the division commander said, but now I'm more bothered than before. Rachel asks curiously, what's bothering you? Il points at the map, our position. This assignment doesn't add up at all. Rachel looks confused. Doesn't add up? I think being here is perfectly safe. Abelson thinks it through. Lord Lodron's position is dangerous, but we've been placed in a completely safe rear. That's strange. Rachel asks, isn't being safe a good thing? We don't have to risk our lives in battle. Il stands up and says, they claim to be short on manpower and yet here I am, a platoon commander, sitting around guarding a dining hall. Rachel suddenly gets it. You're right, you're squad commander level firepower. Why would they put you here? Abelson adds, and if it were just to protect me, there are other people they could have assigned instead. Il moves toward the door. Something is off here. Rachel notices and asks urgently, wait, where are you going? Il waves his hand. I've got a bad feeling. I want to go check the front line. Abelson quickly follows, then let me come with you. Il hesitates with concern. It's not that far, but are you sure you'll be alright? Abelson says, I can hold my own. Channeling holy energy through my body, I can move as fast as a high-ranking knight. Il lets out a helpless sigh. That's not what I'm worried about. But fine, whatever. If you say so, let's go. But the moment the two reach the door, a guard steps in their way. The guard barks sharply, stop. Division commander's orders, you are not to leave this area. Il thinks fast. I really need to use the bathroom. You want me to go right here? The goblin guard holds firm. You cannot leave. The division commander's orders are that you stay here. Il feels a rising sense of dread. Something isn't right. Please let Lord Lodron be okay. Meanwhile, on the battlefield, Lodron has just finished a fierce exchange with a hero. The red-haired hero says, "Not bad at all. Most people can't hold out against two of us this long. Let's stop dragging this out and finish it." The red-haired hero calls out an order. "Holy magic core, fall in. Prepare for a full assault." Lodron's stomach drops. There's an ambush. So Grat really is the traitor in the 3rd Legion. He surveys the closing forces, 2 heroes and a crowd of knights. He scoffs coldly. "You brought all these knights just for me? Seems a little excessive." The red-haired hero chuckles. "I'll admit it feels like overkill too, but you're the glutton's most valued subordinate." Lodron instantly understands. Their real target isn't him at all. It's Lord Hermes. The red-haired hero issues another command, Second Knight order. "Take your positions. Prepare to surround and neutralize the target." Demonic energy surges around Lodron as he says, "Let me show you what I'm capable of." Flames ignite across his body as he roars and charges straight into the enemy ranks. Lodron swings his fist and kicks up a powerful gust of wind, sending every incoming sword flying right back at them. A hero hit by his sword cries out in shock. He created a gust like that with pure fist pressure. This is terrifying. The red-haired hero shouts, "Don't be afraid. He's outnumbered. Overwhelm him with numbers." A wave of heroes swarms in immediately, surrounding Lodron from every direction. Lodron raises his emblem, demonic energy exploding to its peak as he prepares his most powerful technique. The energy detonates in a massive burst, sending every hero flying instantly. Lodron seizes the moment and breaks out of the encirclement. He begins to counter at blinding speed. Moving with fierce precision, he ends it perfectly by slamming the last hero's head straight into the ground. Byron scowls at the sight of it. All that brute strength and still that cocky. Unbelievable. Byron screams and leaps forward. He swings his weapon at Lodron in a furious assault. Lodron sidesteps the strike. The two clash in an instant. Lodron reacts with lightning speed, grabbing Byron's weapon, and then hurls both the weapon and Byron himself straight into the ground. Byron scrambles back to the red-haired hero's side and says, "Is that guy really just a division commander?" Lodron lands on the ground, breathing hard as he faces off against the remaining heroes. He thinks grimly to himself, "I've burned through too much demonic energy. How much longer can I last?" The red-haired hero suddenly lets out a sharp whistle and shouts, "Now! Second Knight order, all units, charge!" In no time, a huge new wave of heroes surges forward, even more than before. Lodron tries to unleash another technique to drive them back, but the red-haired hero moves first, cutting off his motion. Then countless spears lock onto Lodron and drive through his body without hesitation. Lodron's demonic energy pours out uncontrollably as the strength rapidly drains from his body. The red-haired hero says triumphantly, "These are magic tools that absorb demonic energy. One hit and a demon goes down." Lodron can no longer hold himself up, his body going completely limp, drained of every last ounce of strength. The red-haired hero shouts, "The fight is over. Just to be safe, stick him a few more times." Byron immediately snatches a spear and says, "I'm doing it. No way I'm missing out on something this cool." He taunts, "Look at you, completely helpless. You the Red Nightmare is just a demon after all." Lodron's voice comes out in broken fragments. "I am..." Byron readies the spear. "What was that? I can't hear you." Lodron gathers every last ounce of strength for one final roar, the Red Nightmare of the demon army. Then he swings a palm strike with everything he has left. Byron has no time to dodge and is killed instantly. The red-haired hero curses in fury. How did that idiot Byron ever become a hero? He surveys the battlefield. The Knight Order is nearly wiped out and Byron's death is a serious blow. He snorts coldly, but that last attack must have been the Red Nightmare's final act of desperation. He shouts out, "Anyone still standing, grab those magic tools and surround him again." The very next second, a fist comes crashing down with the force of a thunderclap. Il arrives with demonic energy surging all around him and shouts, "You're all dead." That one punch from Il sends the red-haired hero flying instantly. Lodron looks up at Il in utter disbelief. "Il, what are you doing here?" Il pulls the spears from Lodron's body. "I had a bad feeling, so I came straight here. Are you alright?" Lodron lets out a pained smile. "My situation is not ideal. Thank you for coming." The red-haired hero stares at Il, eyes filled with suspicion. He thinks, that's the legendary hero who defected to the demons. Most of the soldiers are wiped out, and we can't let the Red Nightmare get away. Better to take them both down with me than let them walk out of here alive. He begins to chant, "My flesh and blood belong to God," and a golden light radiates from his entire body. The next instant, fire erupts into the sky as holy energy sweeps across the entire battlefield. Lodron warns Il, "This is on a completely different level from whoever you fought last time. This technique is called Divine Descent. It's the source of a holy knight's power." The red-haired hero says with pride, "Exactly. Don't you dare compare my technique to that trash. What I wield is true divine power, not some cheap imitation." Lodron continues explaining, "Holy knights use divine descent to unleash overwhelming force, but whoever uses it pays with their life." The red-haired hero calmly admits, "Just like you said, the user burns through all of their holy energy." He charges at Il with a roar, "But even if it costs me my life, I will not let you leave here alive." The red-haired hero swings his sword down hard. Il raises his arm to block. Il grunts. The attack is blocked, but the impact still hits like a shockwave. The red-haired hero laughs. "Holy energy and demonic energy are natural opposites. You're not a human hero anymore." At that moment, an enormous energy sphere forms. Carrying the force of pure destruction, it surges toward them both. Il is struck dead on by the sphere and skids back nearly 10 meters before he finds his footing. Il glances over at Lodrin, thinking anxiously, can Lord Lodrin still hold on? He looks like he's in even worse shape than I am. He's got to be suffering far more than I am right now. If I can drain the red-haired hero's holy energy, he'll die. I just need to stall for time. But how much longer can Lord Lodrin actually hold on? The red-haired hero is coughing up blood and murmuring to himself, I've burned through more holy energy than I expected. His ears are ringing and his vision grows blurrier by the second. He steadies himself with a thought, but they're demons who run on demonic energy. Even blind, I can sense them. Il suddenly speaks up. You've already gone blind, haven't you? The red-haired hero says, I can't see, yes, but that doesn't change anything. I can feel your demonic energy even with my eyes closed. Il acts surprised. You're that sensitive to demonic energy? That's impressive. No wonder things turned out the way they did. The red-haired hero says with irritation, just get to the point, quit wasting my time. Il says, right now you can't sense anything other than demonic energy, can you? Miss Abelson, now! Abelson appears behind the red-haired hero in an instant. She delivers a single, decisive strike. The red-haired hero drops dead before he can even react. Not long after, the human army arrives, seething with fury and demanding to settle the score with Grat. The human hero screams, you treacherous demons, you played us, and 2 of our heroes are dead because of it. Grat looks completely stunned. 2 of Galen's heroes are dead? How is this possible? Just then, a towering pillar of energy explodes into the sky. Hermes appears and says, indeed, care to explain how this happened? The human hero stumbles back in terror. Grat, you scheming rat. Was this all your trap? Grat immediately plays along, putting on a new face, my lord. I've brought all those foolish humans straight to you. Hermes lets out a light laugh. Well, the useless Grat actually did something worth praising. As your superior, there's no way I'm skipping a feast this grand. The ground begins to tremble violently, and darkness slowly swallows the sky. An enormous fireball descends from above and slams into the human hero army. With a thunderous crash, the entire human hero army is obliterated in an instant. Grat rushes up to flatter her, truly worthy of you, Lord Hermes. No human could ever come close to a legend as great as yours. Hermes says, how are you be so stupid? The words barely leave her mouth before Grat's head is severed clean from his neck. Hermes says plainly, so you were the only spy. I thought you might have had an accomplice. The next day, in Gardella City, Hermes gathers everyone for a meeting on a pressing matter. She says, I've called you all here today to discuss restructuring the troops. First, Lodrin, you'll be taking command of Grat's 8th Division. That will keep Lodrin busy, so Roigel, you'll serve as Vice Division Commander. She turns her gaze to Il and says, as for you, Il, you'll serve as a company commander directly under the Legion. Il looks genuinely shocked, a company commander? But wasn't I a platoon commander? Hermes smiles, you've been working so hard to impress me lately. Consider this your reward. However, I won't be assigning you any soldiers just yet. Everyone in the room is completely lost for words. Lodrin can't help but ask, do you have a plan in mind? He does hold the title of company commander after all. Hermes smiles with an air of mystery. I want to observe the situation before I decide whether to give him any troops. Hermes continues her announcements. This is Montan. Starting today, he'll be handling Legion commander duties in my place. In short, I'll be stepping away for a while. There's something urgent I need to take care of. That evening in Abelson's quarters, Il says, what made you think to hit him from behind like that? Abelson says, I just felt like I had to do something. I need to keep pushing to grow stronger. Il looks thoughtful and says, so you're planning to keep fighting alongside us going forward? Abelson nods. If everyone is willing to have me, I'd be glad to help. Il smiles and encourages her. I know you'll be incredible. You're one of the highest holy energy holders in the entire empire. Abelson shakes her head. Raw power alone doesn't win fights. Look at you. You hardly ever rely on brute strength. You always win in the strangest ways. Rachel speaks up from beside them, a little indignant, if you put it that way. People who don't know him might think the hero is some kind of lowlife. Our hero is plenty impressive, for the record. On the other side, at Bennett, a border village in Galen, Hermes arrives alone. She storms into the village and leaves no one standing in her wake. Hermes says coldly, I'll let one of you live to carry the message back. Starting today, I will erase one village from the Holy Empire's map, every single day. Back in Gardelli City, Lodrin hears the news and rushes to find Hermes at once. Hermes raises an eyebrow. My, you forgot to knock. That's rare. Lodrin's face is filled with worry. What on earth are you thinking? Going after human settlements alone? Hermes says calmly. Everything I'm doing is for the future of our people. The moment I step into the open, they'll have no choice but to play their trump card. Even if I can only take out one of Galen's legends, that's time bought for us. Lodrin looks confused. And what exactly do you plan to do with that time? Hermes says, well, give our hope the space to grow, of course. After Lodrin leaves, Hermes quietly murmurs to herself, Lodrin will never be able to accept this. Montan says, he's too earnest by nature. But are you still against working with the Demon King? That battle plan is far too risky. Hermes says, the Demon King and I, that chapter is closed. I hold nothing against the choice he made, because I finally understand why the Demon King has been avoiding war all this time. To be honest, until not long ago, I thought he was letting his feelings make him foolish. I couldn't understand how that man had suddenly turned into such a hesitant, overthinking idiot. I even lost my temper at him once, told him to go back to being the powerful, ruthless Demon King he used to be, and yet now here I am, about to make a choice that the old me never would have made. If I had understood the feeling of wanting to protect someone a little sooner, I never would have treated him that way. Hermes then summons Frischer, and Frischer turns out to be Aland, one of the Pope's own men. Hermes says with a teasing smile, still playing the priest, are you? Fisher removes his mask. His true face is revealed. He says with quiet emotion, I've been living as the Pope for so long. I suppose old habits die hard. Hermes hands him a letter and says, this one is for you, the other two, please deliver one to Laudren and one to Montan. Hermes adds one final instruction, watch over Il and make sure he stays alive. Fisher seems genuinely surprised. Are you serious? Why? Hermes smiles, once you get to know him you'll understand. The next day, in Il's room, someone suddenly yanks the blanket off him. Il jolts awake and shouts, who is that? How dare you disturb my sleep? When he sees it's Laudren, Il snaps to attention immediately. Whatever you need, just say it. I'm on it, Laudren says in a heavy tone. Il, you need to leave, right now. Il's eyes go wide in shock. What? Just like that? Laudren's expression is grave. The human army is launching a full-scale assault on Gardel City tomorrow, and they're bringing legendary-level fighters. Il argues back quickly, doesn't that mean I should stay here? Laudren sighs. Their target is Lord Hermes. We're not the ones they're after. But if something truly happens to Lord Hermes, I won't be able to protect you on my own. So Il, leave Gardel City, and take the Saint Tess with you. Once things settle down and you've found somewhere stable, contact me with the communication orb. Just then, Abelson's voice comes through from outside. Mr. Il, it's almost time to go. Il turns and looks up in surprise, Miss Abelson. And who is that beside you? Fisher introduces himself. My name is Fisher. By Lord Hermes's orders, I'll be traveling with you from here on. We'll need to blend into human society first and get a read on the current situation. From now on, the Saintess will be posing as a novice priest on a sacred pilgrimage. Il and I will be disguised as ordinary mercenaries hired to guard her. If you understand, get in the carriage. Before getting in, Il looks back toward Gardele City and says quietly, please, let everyone be safe. On the road, Il asks, Lord Fisher, where exactly are we headed? Fisher answers, the Holy Empire is too dangerous. Drashan is hostile to heroes as well, so after weighing everything, we're heading to the kingdom of Malilte.